All right, we are live.
Hello and welcome. I am Nosh, your GM, and joining me today are Rigel Kent, Gigerman, Ronky, Things, and FX Engineer. We are playing an adventure set in the exciting world of J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth using the very adaptable GURPS rule set by Steve Jackson Games. Our VTT of choice is Fantasy Grounds. Today's adventure is adapted from Free League Publishing's The One Ring role-playing game, and we will also beg and borrow rules from the GURPS Dungeon Fantasy lineup. Credit goes to all creators of these works, including the Ring Bearer font by Pete Clausen. You can find this and past sessions on YouTube and as audio-only podcasts. Links are in the video description. If you enjoy our content, please like this video and subscribe to our Twitch and YouTube channels. Okay, jumping right in, I'm going to start with an opening image here.
Do we need to reintroduce the characters?
Just you wait. Okay, who has a good command of the English language, but in particular, pronouncing Tolkien's words?
Not it.
Not Tolkien's words.
All right. Giger, do you feel brave?
Brave.
Giger never
You feel
learned to
brave.
read.
Oh, dang.
Everybody's
was a
being
time.
shy about it.
There
No, I
was a
was
time,
reading ahead.
long before the world was reshaped, and the seas claimed what was once stood proud. When the other lands lay beneath the stars, lands of wonder and sorrow, whose names now adrift like half-remembered songs through the halls of memory. Beleriand, Dorith, Gondolin, Nargothrond, and the shadow heights of... Oh, fuck me. Thank where the dread... Thanks. Where dread made its throne. In those elder days, the elves waged war against Morgoth, the dark power who coveted the radiant Silmarils. It was there that valor burned brightest and grief ran deepest. Beren and
Baron and
Uthine.
Luthien.
Oh, that's an L. Okay. It looked like a bracket. Beren and Luthien walked those woods and wilds, defying fate with love and courage. Thor, there's no N in that, came with
Tuor.
Gondolin beneath... Oh, Tuor. Okay, thanks. Beneath hidden peaks, and Turin stood through doom with a sword in hand and sorrow in his heart. Heroes rose and heroes fell. Battles raged, songs were sung, and the world trembled beneath the weight of destiny. And then the breaking came. The first age ended in fire and flood, and the lands of legend was swallowed by sea. All was drowned, so much was lost, but not everything. Some things endured.
Thank you so much, and that was awesome. And we apologize to Tolkien fans everywhere for the pronunciation of those names. But points for trying, buddy. Points for trying.
You should have.
I blame Tolkien.
You should have
Not
plugged
actual
that
points.
into AI and used the movie guy voice.
Oh, of course.
True.
Of
there you
course,
go.
And it would've
you
got-
say
it would've
we should
got
use
that wrong.
AI.
I love
That
AI.
would go so badly.
Beleriand, Doriath, Gondolin, Nargothrond, and Thangorodrim.
Don't
That's exactly
worry.
what I said.
Next time, we're going to have it all in Quenya. So,
Oh, good lord.
all right.
English is bad English.
So I want to start by having a reintroduction of Caledorn and Hori. If you two could just briefly reintroduce your characters
Sure.
for the listeners, the viewers, that would be awesome.
I'll go first. Hi, I'm Rigel. I am playing Caledorn, son of Halabeth, a Dunedain ranger of the north. So he is tall, dark of hair, with gray eyes. He is still quite young, barely 64 years of age, and has been protecting Breland and the Shire for much of his life.
I just got to throw your image up on the tabletop. There it is.
He threw up.
And now I've thrown up Hori.
All right, I'm Ronki. I'm playing Hori, son of Nori. He was born in the Blue Mountains and is quite young for dwarves, I think, in the Middle-earth era. He's 62. I don't know I don't recall how long they live.
That's funny. That means Caledorn is technically 2 years older than him.
He is one of Durin's folk. Hori spent his life in Western Eredor, assisting in protection of dwarven emissaries, and interacted with the elves of Linden. He
Okay.
moved into
Go
the
ahead.
Shire and into Breland while moving cargo.
And we left off with Caledorn and Hori and Cassandra and Hamlin having defeated some trolls in a hidden vale to the east of Bree. And we're going to just really wrap this up very quickly, but we're also going to move into introducing the other characters by way of a kind of a flowing narrative. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to retcon a couple of things, because we never actually had Hori or Caledorn roll for shadow tests when they had their first encounter with wargs, when they encountered the trolls and experienced the sorcery of Nelly Longarms. And so I want both of them to make modified will rolls for the first test, which is when the wargs attacked them on their journey. So just do an open will roll with any modifiers for or against your will. And let's see if you pass your first shadow test.
Does combat reflexes apply as if a fright check?
I think it should.
Good, because I just realized my will is hot garbage.
It helped.
Uh-oh.
Hori, son of Nori, failed by 3 and has decided there's some retconning nope happening.
Okay, so if you fail your shadow test, let's see, on a failure, you are going to get 1 shadow point from that encounter with the warg. And Caledorn, you succeed, so you
By a
don't
lot.
pick up a shadow point. Okay, so now for the next one
What's the bonus for combat reflexes? Is it 2?
2.
Yeah, not enough.
Okay, so 1 shadow point for Hori. Okay, the next encounter was with the trolls. And so again, make another roll. And Hori, once you get 3 shadow points, it's going to impact your will roll. But just make another will check.
Whew, success by 1.
Actually, speaking of that, did we need some resources created?
Oh,
yeah, you need to have hope points and shadow points under the resources tab. And your hope points max out at your IQ.
Roger.
Okay, so you're both...
We start at max.
Yeah, so everybody starts at max because your hope points are basically your bennies. So yeah, you start with your maximum, and it just starts to go down as you spend those hope points.
What was
Okay.
the total for Shadow? Or is that just
starts at
infinite?
Yeah, it's infinite. So starts at 0, but it is technically infinite. It really shouldn't go any higher than your IQ. But okay, so that was the second shadow test. And now the third and the biggie is experiencing the sorcery of Nellie Longarms and seeing the depravity of her work. This is going to be worth 3 shadow points if you fail.
Woot! Success by 2.
Okay, awesome.
Success by
So-
6. Success by 6.
There you go. Okay, so no, you managed to pass any negative impact from those encounters, but Hori will be carrying a shadow point with him moving forward. All right, thank you for that. We are now going to go to wrapping up some loose ends. So Caledorn and Hori and Cassandra and Hamlin and Jerry and Diarmok and his family and Silda, Heather, all come out of the Hidden Valley. You'll remember that Hamlin took a fairly grievous wound. I think he was like down by 6 hit points.
Tragically,
But as
he
you
dies.
come out,
He dies.
well, as you come out of the Hidden Valley, you see this this ranger. If I can get her picture correctly.
I'm trying to remember what all we were doing. I think the dwarf hired us, not this dwarf, but the other dwarf. And then we found out he was a lying sack of dog dew.
We had to save. We offered to save his family or something like that. Is that the one?
Mhm.
So yeah, so what happened is the dwarf Jari hired you. Armok was working with him, and he was basically bringing victims to Nellie Longarms, and he had Darmok's family being held captive. So you went off, discovered there were trolls afoot, and took them out, and took out their mother Nellie, and saved the day. So you see a female ranger, which Caledorn, you instantly recognize. This is a woman named Orthel. She is a Dunedain.
Treat her appropriately. I don't know, do we have like actual ranks within the Dunedain? It's just a no.
No. She's would be a colleague. So she sees you coming out of the valley, and she says to Caledorn, Gandalf the Grey is waiting for you in Bree at the Prancing Pony. He has an errand for you to run.
Huh?
She says,
North. Wouldn't I refer to him as Mithrandir? Wouldn't refer to him Mithrandir?
I don't think so. No, I think he was commonly known as Gandalf the Grey in the whole Bree region.
Okay, cool.
So she says, I will take this dwarf back to our community for interrogation, and we'll determine a proper sentence for him.
Correct me if I'm wrong, he did end up actually aiding us, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Then I will speak up for him as a result. Have that on the record.
Did he aid us under duress? Or did he volunteer to aid us?
I think he was convinced.
And Silda and Diarmok and his family are all going to return to Bree with the rest of the party. Silda will eventually be taken into a good home in Bree, and Diarmok and his family are going to decide to settle around Archet and try to start a new life. Now, once you get to Bree, Hamlin here, once you get to Bree, Hamlin, he decides he needs to rest and recuperate from the battles. And Cassandra here, she basically decides she's going to return to visit some of her family in the Shire until the adventuring itch starts to need scratching again. And that's kind of what is going to happen to Cassandra and Hamlin. So Caledorn and Hori and Cassandra and Hamlin, they all come into the Prancing Pony, and you see Gandalf sitting in the common area, smoking on his pipe, and he's sitting there, and right sitting next to him is an elf with remarkably golden white hair.
We have to make another fright check.
Depends on how sensitive you are.
And so that's who you see sitting with Gandalf. Cassandra, she walks into the Prancing Pony and looks around the room and screams, "Tolman!" and runs to greet her cousin.
Ah, Lassie. Wait, how do hobbits stuck? I don't know. How are you?
How-
Nice to see you.
They're very
Caledorn,
country British.
Caledorn, you glance over and see Tolman Goldworthy, and you roll your eyes. If Cassandra had been a handful in her youth, Tolman was doubly so.
Bilbo was
Wonderful.
definitely a good influence on us.
So Gandalf waves you over, Caledorn, and introduces you to, now am I saying this right, Giger Gwaidon?
Gwaidon.
Gwaidon. So he introduces you to Gwaidon. And he says to you and to Hori, "The Queen of Daer, Nimue, has asked for assistance. Her court seer has apparently had such a powerful vision that she fears its portents. It could be nothing, perhaps too much pipeweed and an addled brain. But as you handily dispatched trolls, you ought to measure up to this task, Caledorn. Bring some friends." And he gives Hori a measured look as he blows smoke rings across the room. Cassandra beams, and she says, "My cousin Tolman here might be interested. Before I left for the Hidden Valley, Tolman said he would be interested to work with Hori on..." Give me 1 second.
And Gandalf's eyes roll back in his head as he's doing something we know not what.
Sorry, I was getting feedback through the speakers, so I threw my headphones on. All right. So Cassandra beams and says, "My cousin Tolman here might be interested. Before I left for the Hidden Valley, Tolman said he would be interested to work with Hori on some future enterprise." And Hori, you nod in agreement. You remember Tolman talking to you a few weeks ago back here at the Pony. And Tolman, you say to Cassandra, "Cousin, that Gandalf asked me to come here. He said something about the surprising, invaluable character of hobbits when on the road." And Hori, to your surprise, you see one of the oddest sights. It's Nain, a strange fellow who calls himself an echo maker, whatever that is. And he is with someone who's carrying like a big old bag of something on his back. You can't believe your eyes. You thought he was back home in the Blue Mountains. What's he doing here in Bree? And you look at Gandalf, and Gandalf winks at you. So at this point, I'm going to ask the new players to introduce their characters. Just give a little bit of your background, and then I've got some questions for the newcomers. And is somebody hot miking?
Rigel.
Crap. I'm sorry. I had to change the click to talk button, and clearly I clicked the wrong one.
So yeah, let's start with Tolman. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tolman, and then we'll move on to Nain, and then we'll end with Gwaithon.
Well, Tolman is of a similar age of Cassandra. Him and Cassandra grew up together. I guess it'll be up to her if she likes me or not. It looks like she likes me. We were both heavily influenced by Bilbo when he got back. And I will say Tolman took it to the extreme and started taking on jobs of being an official burglar and doesn't have quite such a good reputation with the hobbits. They think he's very weird and just not civilized at all. And
He's a kender.
he loves money. So any job, any mission, he's very confident he can do it all, and he's always trying to pull his weight, literally in gold. So if there's money involved, he's in.
Okay, thank you. Now, Things, how do you pronounce your character's name? I'm sorry, I've been saying Nain.
Yeah, Nain's pretty close. I'm pretty sure that's about as close as I'm going to get to saying it properly anyway. So
It's 9.
no, it's Nayin.
Nine.
So Nayin.
Yeah, there's a glottal stop in the middle of it. It's 9.
Yeah. Nain is fine.
Okay.
I've said my piece.
Yeah, Nain is a very unusual looking dwarf. He appears to be dressed in moss and mushrooms for some reason. He carries around a very large fancy drum that he won't stop banging on, though the sounds are very familiar, like the echoes of the deep halls to Horry and any other dwarves in the tavern, but it's a bit unnerving to those not used to the sounds of the deep. He is always has a book nearby and appears to be somewhat attuned to nature, but also very musical and just particularly strange even for a dwarf.
Weird. Okay, thank you. And last but not least is Gwaithon.
Gwaithon, son of Galleon. Galleon being the elf that got drunk and let Bilbo, thank you, brain, and let Bilbo escape from the woodland realm in Thranduil's palace. So as a result, Gwaithon has always been a bit fascinated by hobbits and how they could just best an elf. But outside of that, he's a young elf, so he was just a kid back then when that happened, 24 years ago, something like that. So he was in his 40s.
Yep, 24, yeah. Holy cow! Does that mean the dwarf and the Dunedain are the two oldest characters?
I guess maybe. But he's mostly been serving the court as a caravan guard and that sort of thing, doing odd jobs and traveling around. And recently he had been traveling with some elves headed west and decided to stop off at the Shire because he's still trying to find the Bagginses.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so questions for the newcomers. Question the first one. Tell us about how Gandalf came to ask you to meet him at the Prancing Pony.
Well, I'll stay for Tolman. He was born in the Shire, but came to Bree, and he's been working as a professional burglar for the last several years. And the character doesn't have a reputation on the character sheet, but he's definitely been doing jobs with maybe the dwarves, being hired. So Gandalf would have come to him knowing that he needed a proper burglar for the mission. And he's just the perfect, Cassandra is for some reason unavailable. So Tolman was his choice.
All right, thank you. You answered the second question. What was it about you that interested Gandalf in terms of your skills? Okay, so Nain, how about you? Can you tell us about how Gandalf came to ask you to meet him at the Prancing Pony, and what he sees in you as worthy about this errand?
He probably stumbled across Nain in a pub and saw the giant library he's literally has somebody else carrying for him, because stuff carrying that on your own, and probably noticed some of the writings in one of my books that was actually the information that he was after at the time. And I informed him that I wrote that book. I learned that information and wrote it down. And he invited me along after that.
Okay, all right. And Gwaethon, how about you?
I would say that Gwaethon probably met Gandalf on the road while he was traveling with the caravan on the way here to Bree, and happened to ask this strange old man if he'd ever seen any hobbits. And we got to talking about Baggins and stuff. Said, yeah, if you go to Bree and the Prancing Pony, you might just meet one.
All right.
Now you've met two.
Now you've met two. And they're related because they're all related. Okay, so that is a great introduction. You're ironically all at a tavern. How original. Okay.
The same tavern.
The same tavern too. Okay, so finally the last bit of retcon here is Caledorn and Hori, if you did spend any of your hope points, just restore your hope points, because between here and getting to Daer, you'll have restored all those hope points all the same. So you might as well just restore them.
That's good, because I was apparently down to 5.
So the maximum is your
IQ?
Your IQ, yeah.
Okay, for some reason I have a maximum being 13 when my IQ is only 11. Is there any bonuses?
Interesting.
Is your will 13?
No,
Will is 12.
Yeah, no, your hope score is equal to your IQ. So that's probably a bad on my point.
Do we have a chance to recover shadow points?
No, unfortunately, those you can recover, but you're going to have to do something significant to recover it, or it stays with you until sort of a long stretch between, say, adventures, i.e., say 3 months or so, or around the Yuletide time. Although you could do something called a shadow scar, but for 1 point, I don't think it's worth it. A shadow scar is where you can choose to remove all current shadow points and replace it with a shadow scar, which is a permanent shadow point that can be removed sort of basically at Yule or around the Christmas period. So 1 for 1, I don't think it's worth it.
Righto.
Let's open the big map.
This must be a huge map.
You are currently here.
Where's here? No.
Correction, you are here.
Right. There's an icon over there.
Ain't no Bagginses here. They're all up in Hobbiton.
And you are traveling to here.
Through the lost realm of Arnor.
And by the magic of scene transition, you arrive in Daer.
I hope we got the cool, sweeping music as we're like mounting a hill or something.
Oh, it's
Very-
not cool. It's deep and eerie.
There it is. So you come into the port town of Daer.
Can you ping it again, please?
I sure can. Just 1 second here.
All right, thanks.
Right here where I'm pinging now. Did you see it?
Yep, I got it.
Okay. All right. So Daer is a small fishing village at the mouth of the Grey Flood, built atop the ruins of an ancient town that was already old when the kingdoms of the north were young. And today Daer is ruled by Nimue, a brave young woman who delivered the town from a sea serpent and was acclaimed queen of this little kingdom for her effort. Daer is also known for the old towers that rise above the town, towers built by seers and astrologers in days of old in imitation of the elf tower of Elosterion, where they could look back west in hopes of glimpsing the vanished glory of Numenor. And so you come into the Queen's Hall. And you see Queen Nimue awaiting you.
I just realized, do not have any social skills whatsoever for that.
And she says, which of you is called Caledorn?
Point.
And Caledorn will step forward and bow and say, I am he, your grace.
Very good, and welcome all of you to Daer. I trust your journey was safe.
It was very quick.
Good. She says, what did Gandalf the Grey tell you of your errand?
Not much. He is notoriously close-lipped about these sorts of things, only that he had a task that he wished us to come here and do for you.
She says, yes, I get your meaning. Well, let me begin by saying, and as she starts to say like an opening sentence, you hear and sort of feel these hands pressing through the PCs, pushing past everyone to get to Caledorn. And Caledorn, you look down, because how tall are you? Like 6'3" or something?
He is 6'5".
Yeah.
Because Dunedain are tall.
So you literally look down at this poor fella here.
Wow, he's got a bit of a wild-eyed look to him.
And his jaw drops just like you see it in the picture. And he looks up at you and he says, I saw your kind. I saw your kind on the shore. And like he's clutching at your cloak, and kind of really just amazed at recognizing your kind. And Queen Nimue says, well, everyone, this is Eglion, my court seer. Okay, seer, she says, tell us about your vision since you've decided to make your presence known before I summoned you. He says, my queen, this man is so very much like the woman I saw in my vision, so tall, lordly. It is remarkable. I had not slept, not truly. The stars, they held me fast all through the night. I watched them wheel and whisper, and I thought perhaps they were speaking or warning. When the dawn came, pale and cold, I walked the shore. The sea was sighing, as it does, soft, sorrowful, like it remembers. And then I heard it, a voice, not loud, no, like breath on glass, and it said a name. Tyrannus. I think it did. I cannot be sure, but the moment it spoke, the world changed. My mind was not my own. I saw her, standing in the surf, alone. A lonely isle, yes, and the waves lapping at her feet. She held a sword, great, yes, but wrong. Wrong in its making. The blade was blackened, as if burned or buried. Not rust, no, something deeper, a flaw, a shadow, in the steel. Behind her rose ruins, towers, broken and ancient, like the stargazer's watch. I know them. I know that shape. And then the wind turned. Shadows came fast and full, like a storm with no rain. They swallowed the vision whole. I, I do not know what it means, but it means something. It must. And at this point, as he's starting to get even more and more animated, and his eyes are kind of drifting off up into the ceiling of the court, you hear this snort and a laugh from the back of the hall. But you don't see who snorts and has the audacity to snort. And Aeglion continues. Thrice now, thrice it has come to me. Not vision, no. Not like the others. A dream, yes, but the same dream again and again. I do not know if it is memory or omen. It waits for me in sleep, like a trap. There is a hill, a great black thing, not stone, not earth, something older. It rises before me, vast and silent, like a wave about to break. I cannot move. I cannot breathe. And around it, oh, around it they came. Spirits, howling, not voices, no screams. Shapes that twist and claw the air, things that should not be. I cannot describe them. I dare not. Each time I see them, I awake with the cry still in my throat, my heart hammering like it means to flee my chest. It is not just fear, it is warning. I feel it, I know it. The hill is coming. And at this point, he just kind of stares off down at the floor, and his breathing's really, really labored.
Okay.
And I thought I ate a lot of mushrooms.
I have a point in History Dunedain. Can I make a test on that to see and if I actually recognize the name he threw out?
Yeah, just 1 second. Yes, you can. I'm just going to also lean over onto the other characters because I just want to check on something. So if you could you could either do a history roll, yes, if it's Dunedain. If you've got history Eriador, make it at -2, but go for it.
Yeah, I've just got a point in History Dunedain. I think I picked that up last time, and it's not particularly great. I've only got it at a 9, but big fat no.
Okay.
Just a-
Anybody else want to try making a roll against a history or
History
Or
Dwarven, maybe? Or just intelligence?
well, let's say if you've got history dwarven, let's push that from like to a -3. Okay.
Wow. I get wrong information. Garden path time.
All right. So let's see.
Yes, I have definitely heard of this. That name,
Yes,
he was
go
an
ahead.
old elf. He was an old elf from Mirkwood, and he did some noble feats. And last I heard, he was killed and went back to wherever the elves go when they die. So I think we need to travel to the elven lands.
So well, I'll just correct it because he mentioned that it was a. I believe it was a her. He said it was a her. So you'd be saying Tyrannus. Yes, that elf.
Oh, no. He
from-
now thinks it's him.
Oh
That's how
man.
wrong it
Okay.
is.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Does Gwaithan have anything that Gwaithan could try to correct that with?
Nope.
Very confidently wrong.
He knows how to kill things.
That's not a male elf name. It's a female's name.
No, I'm sure. I've heard stories. He was made fun of. He was made fun of because of his girly name. Like all elves and their girly names.
Well, if anybody wants to try a default history roll, go for it. There's just that odd chance one of you might actually get this right. I think a
GM
default-
saying, please save the game.
Is everything hint? No, it doesn't. But yeah, if you want to try default at IQ -6, go for it.
Tallman wants to do something else. Failure by 5.
What did Tallman want to do?
I think Tolman started spacing out when he started talking about all the, unless he mentioned money or gold or treasure, he started spacing out. And
He was very wealthy.
and he was just kind of looking around if there was anything interesting nearby that he can add to his collection.
Okay. There are probably many interesting things here. Are you wishing to resist some disadvantage?
Not yet. He wants, if there's anything like within a move action, while everybody's distracted listening to the seer, he might just, walk on over and pick it up
Okay.
Great.
and examine it.
One of those.
Now, you got to remember, in this game, if you do evil deeds, you're going to get punished. Just saying. Not to say don't go for it. Just understand it doesn't play in your favor. And that's cool. Okay.
So one note on that. First note is he's got a racial disadvantage that I don't really quite like, but is a racial disadvantage, which is kleptomania. But also he doesn't think of it as an evil deed. He's just like, hey, look at this. Somebody left it here. Let me pick it up.
Yeah. It's not like it's going to sink you. And remember, you guys can tweak these characters. This is just like a session. If you want to change that racial disad, and you want something a little more to your liking, well, why not?
Okay, in that case, then let's disregard, because I don't want to play that kind of a character.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I can
still
change
that.
or possibly be a good replacement.
If it's a racial disadvantage, then it's probably more like hobbits don't really understand property rights. There's a lot of sharing and stuff like that in the community.
Yeah, I think again, like, hey, it's a template, right? So does every hobbit need to be a klepto? I really don't think so. So if you really want to tweak that, go ahead. I don't think you need to be too beholden to it.
Okay, then disregard what I said. He will still look around to see because he's interested in that kind of stuff, but he's not going to try to steal it.
Okay. So you hear that laughter again, and but before we move on, does anyone want to say anything to Aeglian, or how are you kind of reacting to what the seer has just said?
I think
Something is twinging about like his visions. He's particularly said these ones are different, like dreams. I want to know what his normal visions are like, so I can piece together what like the source of the vision.
So he says, I have no idea what these visions mean, or even why they came to me. He says,
But your
know,
normal
or-
visions, what are they like?
he says they're never this intense. They tend to be more visions about the local area, about the sea, about fishing, the sailing, the history of this immediate area. He says this is so different in its depth and its darkness. He believes that a foresight had come upon him, but he has no idea what it really, what it portends.
Sounds ominous.
So I think Caledorn is uncomfortable, but curious, and will inquire a bit more about getting into like a description of this person that he saw. Did you say Tarantis? Tarandis?
Tarandis, Tarandis, Tarandis. He just said that she's fair, but strong, noble, yet broken, and so very tall, and like a lord like yourself, good sir.
Ultimately, I think Caledorn is trying to determine is he describing a Dunedain or a Numenorian?
You're definitely picking up the sense that there is a racial connection here between you and who he saw.
Well, since Caledorn is only got an 11 IQ, he's not the brightest. He will probably muse aloud that this woman could have been a descendant of Numenor, because we Dunedain are descended from such.
Well, he said it looks just like you, so that would make sense. Do you have a sister?
Hori and Gwython. Let's hear from you.
Well, Hori takes that as being a rather ominous and, terrible foretelling. So he's probably a little bit freaked out.
I suppose Gwython is a bit distracted by sort of watching the hobbit out of the corner of his eye and wondering if he's thinking about stealing that over there.
Poor Bilbo got a bum rap, didn't he?
He sure set the tone. Okay. Although I don't think Sam was ever had that inclination. If I remember
Sam hasn't been born yet.
I know, but you know what I mean. That
Frodo hasn't been born yet.
Those two, they would not have those kleptoistic. Kleptoistic? Anyway.
Honestly, Bilbo
one of
didn't
them
either.
is stupidly rich, and the other one's humble as hell. So
Right. Okay, so that's kind of all he can give you, Nain, is that it's something that he has never experienced before on such a level of sort of foreboding, and it's so powerful, and he's equating it to foresight, but he just has no idea what it actually, what the implication is, and it's been haunting him. But
do these does his words, because the darkness and the shadows and stuff, does that trigger any hidden lore shadow like twinges in the back of Nine's head?
Yeah, not in the sense of shadow craft itself, but it's enough to make all of you get that sinking feeling in your bones, because the reality is there's old tales, right, about Eriador's history, and the fact that Gandalf, the fact that Gandalf sent you here,
it's the same number.
Yeah, the fact that Gandalf sent you here, and now you're getting that immediate impression that this is not brain-addled or just pipeweed. And Gandalf, the bugger, he probably knew that. So yes, you were rolling shadow lore, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So again, you would say that this business about the spirits and the dark shapes, you're not quite sure about, like he's talking about a hill, but this has all the earmarks of the work of shadow. And it might explain why he's so bloody terrified. Let alone the fact that it came to him, which is equally unsettling.
You said a hill, and you described the hill and the trees around it.
And at this point, you can hear this laughing going on at the back of the court. And the queen sort of calls to the back. She says,
"Knock it off.
Ygre, is that you?" And the people kind of part. And you see this fella smoking a pipe at the back of the room.
Yep, he's got a rough sailor look to him, doesn't he?
That's it. So he walks forward, and he's got, you can tell he's got his sea legs, so he's probably more comfortable on a boat. He says, "My name is Ygre. I've spent most of my life on the water, and I've seen more of the Western Sea than most would dare. When Aeglion spoke of that island in his vision, a steep-sided isle, standing alone in the vast ocean, I knew it. I recognized it the moment he described it. The old charts call it Tol Morwen. It's farther west than any sane sailor would go, but I've been there. Not by chance. I was just a boy then, sailing with my father, when a storm caught us and drove our ship far off course. We were lost for days, battered and drifting, until we found the coast of the Western Isles. We followed that shoreline north, past the Gulf of Lune, and eventually made our way back to Middle-earth. But I never forgot that island, its shape, its silence. It stayed with me."
And you take us there?
Well, if you mean to go there, I'll take you. I've faced worse than storms. I've faced worse than storms, and I've no fear of old ghosts. Just say the word. And he keeps laughing, and then he puts his pipe back in his mouth. So, sorry, go ahead there, Caledorn.
We know what he's smoking. No, he's just going to say if that is the task that the queen wishes of us.
And if anybody wants to make a perception check, if they're watching or looking at Egray, or a body language check, go for it.
I can give you perception, but I can't give you body language. A successful by 4 perception test.
All right. Well, that's good enough. So, as you're listening to him talk, you perceive there is a gloom that hangs over him. His boisterous attitude appears to be an attempt to ward off some sorrow.
Ruh-roh. I hope this NPC isn't going to betray us too.
Mm-hmm.
They're all out to get you.
Indeed.
So Queen Nimue, she steps forward, her eyes sweeping the room. So, Egray was here, and in this hall, when Aglayan spoke. And she pauses thoughtfully, and she says, I do not believe in coincidence, not of that kind. The powers that shape our world do not always roar. They whisper, they weave, and only the wise can tell when chance is not chance at all. And she turns to all of you, and she says, Gandalf was right. You must go to this isle. Whatever Aglayan saw, whatever stirs beneath the surface, is not to be ignored. I ask you to treat his visions not as dreams, but as warnings. And then she gestures to Egray, and Egray will take you. His ship may smell of fish and salt, but he knows the sea better than any man alive. I will see you armed, provisioned, and clothed for the journey. What my realm can give, it shall give. And then she steps closer to you all, and with a low and firm voice she says, Go with purpose, go with care, and return with the truth.
As you so direct, so shall it be.
Okay, so that's the request or the order, one or the other.
I'm presuming it's going to take a bit of time to, get kitted up and all that jazz, right? We're not just leaving straight away.
Yeah, no, there's no real rush, and certainly Egray knows exactly what he needs to provision the ship.
Hori. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I would like to, I don't have the appropriate skills to do like research or anything like that, but I'd like to actually try to find out more about this Tyrannus, which may include or consist of him basically penning a letter and sending it, home. Say, hey, do we have this this name in our records? Needless to say,
Okay.
we wouldn't get a response back before.
Probably not.
Hori, he's going to lead into Caledon and he's going to whisper, Are we getting paid for this?
Gandalf gave us this task. He will see to it that you're. He will see to it that you're repaid in some capacity.
Nine's eyes light up at the mention of being paid.
Gandalf told me we can get rich.
The worried look will turn into a smile.
Pity we didn't find like some treasure with the trolls or anything, but alas.
You just found a lot of cash, that was it.
We did?
Yeah, well, you got 750 copper out of that deal.
Oh, wow. Is that total or
Per piece.
Okay, because I was like, wow, I'm currently listed as 5 copper.
Yeah. No, you got 750 out of the hoard that Nelly Longarms had.
It's a month's pay.
Okay, so what would you like to do at this point? Ygre is going to have a fully provisioned boat in like 2 days. Let's say 2 days. He's going to have food. He's going to have water. He's going to have everything he needs to take you out into the ocean.
We'll run around the town looking for books on the Western Isles island law.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, Caledorn's going to at least try to find out a bit more about Tyrandus, so he may speak with Aglian a bit more. He's probably going to pen a letter back home to basically say, hey, could somebody research this name and such like that. Obviously, that will not be responded to by the time we set out. And sadly, I don't have research, so he doesn't really know how to do this properly.
Right.
Your handwriting is barely legible. Would you like some assistance?
Well, I suppose.
What language would you want this written in?
It's going to be Western, probably.
And
Why
what
are
else?
you writing? We already know all the things about this Theorin guy. I already told you.
Tyrandus.
Mhm.
Tyrandus, yes.
I think I will pen the letter myself after all. We're just wanting to research. I'm just wanting them to look into the histories and biographies. Not biographies, genealogies.
Okay. So I'm wondering if Caledorn and Nain, if the two of you could work on something together using Nain's skills and Caledorn's sort of pernicious sense of like, don't think you've got that quite right.
Yeah, because
Funny.
he's a really weird-looking dwarf.
Yeah.
I mean, Hori, I understand Hori. Hori's a dwarf. I don't know about this guy.
Eka, that was a dwarf?
Oh, wow. I've forgotten about all my damn
No,
character
it's
stuff.
definitely correct. Like, I know what I'm talking about here.
Since it was asked from Tolman, Hori will say, "Of course I will play dice with you, but only if you join me for a drink."
I want Tolman to drink you under the table just because it'd
Oh,
be
no.
hysterical. And Hori
Awesome.
would never, ever, ever live it down.
Okay, so Nain, what do you specifically? What are you trying to look for? What do you want to know more about?
He's looking for information about the Isles and specifically if there's anything written down, like in the old
Okay.
sages' towers in the basements about this strange set of the mountain on the hill on the island that we're going to.
Okay. So I'm just going to assist in clarifying. He had a vision about an island. He had a second vision about a hill. Two different places, or at least two different visions.
Okay, yeah. And he knew of one of those places, right?
He had visions about two of them, or the both. It was Ygre who had actually been to the islands.
Yeah, so I'll look for old texts about the islands in that general direction.
Okay. So we're going to make this real simple. Give me a history roll for Eriador, but I'm going to give you a +1 on this puppy because you're taking some time to do some research. Oh my God!
Oh my God! I'm having.
Wait, well, that's not right. That's not right. Look at that 0-2.
Yeah, I think
it's another failure. Something's wrong with my things.
Okay.
It's still a fail.
Okay, it's still a fail, but there's just
It's not a
something.
critical fail.
All right. Interesting. It must be how you've got something tweaked in your.
Yeah, I worked it out. I fixed it.
Okay. Regardless, all I'm picking up here is that you've failed your history rolls.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you can't really find anything about the history of these islands outside of the fact that I think it's just common knowledge that that there have been islands seen off the coast of Eriador. But what you actually know about those islands, I'm going to give you this because, hey, it's a freebie. And I think, again, it probably would be common knowledge. So we'll fail a little forward here, is that you know darn well that, you've heard of the great sinking of a land, beneath all of those islands. And so these islands are nothing more, but certainly nothing less than the last vestiges of the lands from the first age.
Yeah. All these towers and all these stupid vision people and scholars, none of them could write anything down properly.
Mm-hmm.
So, for whatever reason, you just can't find the correct books. And maybe it's like that scene where Gandalf's just plying through lots of old scrolls in a basement of some tower in Minas Tirith.
Yeah, but all the writings are rubbish and probably just bureaucratic documents.
Mumbo jumbo. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I don't care about the tax documents.
Caledorn, is there anything that you are wanting to do additionally, or are you just kind of writing the letter and helping Nain realize that this is a futile attempt?
Probably gather personal supplies for the journey. My own food, etc., etc.
Okay.
Actually, did they give us a indication how long that would take?
No, he didn't. He didn't give an indication of how long this trip would take. But because we're
That's
not going to,
good thing to ask.
we're not gonna get into the nitty gritty. Like I said, Ygre is going to have enough provisions in his ship to get you where you need to go. So we're not going to worry about the actual length of time.
That's fine. But what are we talking here? Like days, weeks, months?
No, not months. I would say it's going to be a good week and a bit to get out there.
Okay, that's good enough.
I can scroll through and see if they actually care about it, but I don't think it really was key to the adventure necessarily.
Yeah, okay. In that case, the only other thing that I can think of is just to get to know the other members of the new fellowship, Goithon, Nain, Tolman.
Okay, I'm just looking into the chat here. Let's play this bit out between Hori and Tolman.
Alright, does Hori have dice? I don't know if he trusts a hobbit. Nope. Dice is not something that he has. But he will go to whatever tavern we end up in. He will go to the bar and speak to the tavern king. Keep. The little one over there wants to play some dice with me, but I don't trust him. Would you have some fair dice?
Yeah, I get that a lot. Not about hobbits, mind you, but we are a seaport. And so he reaches down and pulls out a cup of dice. Why don't you try these, my good dwarf?
He then, let me just make a roll here. No, I'm going to choose to fail. But I'll roll nonetheless. Failed his greed by 1. He will sort of shield the dice from view from Tolman, and he'll say quietly, "Perhaps you also have some unfair dice."
Okay. Roll a reaction roll, not a universe, based off of your own mods.
I think it's just going to be straight up. Although he does have compulsive carousing. I don't know if that is a positive in the mind of a tavern keep or a negative. Normally it's a negative from sober people. Either way, I shall roll.
So he looks at you cockeyed and says, "Really? You wanted me to help you on one thing because you're afraid of being cheated and you want to screw the hobbit over?"
Of course not. I was just testing you.
Yeah. I've been tested many times, dwarf, many times. Now, go away. I've got things to do. Enjoy your game of dice.
Hori will sit down at the table and he'll grab some drinks as well. So what's that? 2 copper a drink or 1 copper a drink?
Sure. Let's go with 1 copper a drink. You're on the there's lots of ale being brought in from somewhere.
Tolman asked for the top shelf or the middle shelf drinks.
The middle shelf. Well then,
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a fine. What is it?
All right.
Or fine wine, you know. He likes
well, let's
nice.
Yeah, for the middle shelf because that's top shelf to him.
That's right.
Right. So let's say that's going to cost you three copper a drink.
Okay. And then he tells Hori, he's like, he gives him the face, like, and Tolman has the honest face. He's like, he's like, I can't believe you would think that of me, Hori. After all this time, how would you think that I would even dare cheat my noble and trustworthy friend, Hori, son of Nori?
Hori's gonna laugh, and he says, "You, what was Mel's character's name again?"
Cassandra.
Yes.
Cassandra.
We lose him?
I wonder.
Oh, can you not hear me?
No,
Evidently
we
not.
couldn't hear you.
I said, you forget that I traveled with Cassandra a while. I know your type.
At that, Tolman just laughs.
And he will pull out some dice. He'll grab 5 copper and put it down on the table. 2 out of 3, you say.
Yep. And if you lose, I don't know how the rules go, but he wants to do like a shot every time you lose. So
Well,
basically maybe 5 coppers plus a drink.
Hori almost wants to lose. That's unfair. You make me want to lose now.
And then
Well,
how do we do this? Just randomly or what? For the rolls?
sure. I don't know how
I
a
don't-
dice game works in real life, but we have some dice. I guess we roll them.
I think so. You've got dice. Let's do it for real. Unless one of you's got gambling.
I have gambling.
Well, Hori does not, but
I mean, I'm
what's the...
cool if you really want to just roll dice. That's kind of cool.
I think one of the old games that they used to play back in the classical period was a deal where you bet on you get like 2 dice or something, and you bet on what's going to come up. Say I'm going to get 2 6s. You're betting on 2 6s.
Um,
All right, let's just roll dice. Roll 2d6. Best out of 3 rolls. Highest roll
So, like,
wins.
highest roll wins. Okay. Ooh.
Oh,
You know, we've had to do this often enough by now. We should
Irony.
have a system set up already.
Woo.
Tolman. Okay, that's one of 2.
Damn it.
If only there was a gambling skill and a quick contest mechanic in GURPS.
There is. I
It's
have the gambling. But
it's
we
not
just
quite
decided to
that
do it random.
simple, actually. As
It
we
can
have
be if you want it to be.
stubbed our toe enough times by now.
That's 2 for Tolman.
So that's best out of 5. We might as well play the last. How many rolls are we on? 1, 2.
Then we need to up the stakes. So you want to go instead of 2 out of 3, 3 best out of 5?
Double or nothing. Are you
Double
willing to take the
double
bet?
I take the bet.
Get out of
My
here.
goodness.
Curse your luck.
Oh yeah, baby. Woo! Tolman like gets up and does like a little dance on the table.
Now I'm envisioning everybody, watching like it's at Vegas, and they're all rooting for the halfling.
Mm-hmm. Hobbits aren't known for tearing the arms off of somebody if they start to lose. Dwarves are known to do that.
Ori will look
So-
over to the tavern keep, and he'll just give him that, I thought these dice were fair look.
So he
Tavern
takes
keep- he's laughing.
Tolman takes the 10 coppers, but he buys you your drink. He buys this round of drinks. Anyways, I'm good with that.
All right.
Unless you want to keep going, but that was fun.
Hori, he's a little bit aggravated at losing. He's a dwarf. He's stubborn and his temper is short. But soon as a drink is put in front of him, he will settle and then begin to chuckle. And he says, "Well earned."
There's a reason you guys hired me as your burglar.
At which point, Hori's going to start, feeling his pockets and coin purse.
They're completely empty.
We hired him as a what? Wait, we hired him?
I'm not paying him.
Nice. Nice. Who hired whom? You were sent on an errand.
Ah, Gandalf.
That bastard.
Everybody thinks it.
He made everybody think we were getting paid without even saying a word.
Are you saying we're not going to get paid?
I'm saying nobody
Queen
said we were
has
going to
lots
get
of
paid.
money, right?
We're going to an island that is surely going to be our doom, and we're not getting paid.
Of course it's going to be Doom. It's the Tower of the Black Lady.
It's still a man.
Hori will go, I need more to drink then. And
Okay.
Hori will proceed to carouse and spend money in his carousing. He's going to, since Hori's not going to make it a secret that we're sort of interested in these islands and stuff. So
Okay.
he's going to be, asking people for legends and stories and stuff like that. Not that he probably really wants to know anything about
Okay.
this place.
Okay. So, by all means, go for a carousing roll or a current affairs roll if you got it.
No, Hori doesn't have carousing. It defaults to health -4, I think, or 5. Health -4.
Go for it.
Failed by 4.
All right. Anybody else want to give a shot at carousing or a current affairs roll?
How about some sort of eavesdropping, or would that fall under carousing?
Why not? We should try to use these skills. What particular skill are you using?
about-
Sorry.
Let me try using lip reading.
I
Yeah.
would say, well, okay, lip reading could work. Otherwise, if you're just trying to eavesdrop, you could make a perception-based stealth roll.
Yeah.
Let's do. Wow, they both sound fun to do, actually.
I've seen
Which one do you think?
I've seen the bad lip reading on YouTube. You should do lip reading.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what the GM
They're
comes up
probably
with.
complaining about the weird strangers in their town.
Well, let's just try lip reading. It's my lesser skill, so I'm not as good at it. So he's gonna kind of look around if there's any like interesting, quote unquote, interesting looking people talking, and try to read their lips. So he rolled an 11, success by 2,
Okay.
with no modifiers.
So as you were just sitting there looking at the conversations, a lot of it's just simply about mariner talk. A lot of it is just about the sea, the weather, the travels to and from Daer. Somebody hot micing? All right.
Yes,
Yep.
Apex is.
Oh, I
All right.
think I gotta change my push to talk key because it keeps asking me if I want to make it like a default or something, like put
Oh.
like a sticky key.
Yeah.
So you hear a lot. You can just see people are just talking about work. They're talking about the sea. They're talking about the weather, and winds, etc., etc. But you do see someone talk about the fact that they drop a name called Aaron Vor, and they talk about the dangers of the large trees that are in the sea around that point of land, and that the volume of those trees seem to be actually something larger than people have noticed of late.
Erenvor is a location.
You suspect that's what it is.
So we've got large submerged trees.
Along the coastline around a place called Erenvorn. Okay. Anything else? Anyone else wants to do? Because we're just going to advance the clock here to stepping off into the boat.
Before we
Other
leave,
than bang my drum, not really.
Gwython was going to spend some time on the docks looking at ships, sort of getting a sense of things, and would probably like to talk to an elf or two if they're actually about, and looking somewhat important, just to ask around about these sorts of things, stuff the humans wouldn't talk about.
Can you give me a reaction roll? And on a sort of good or better, we'll say that you actually do come across an elf.
Let's see. Is this technically a universe thing?
Yeah. Do a universe roll.
Okay. So appearance wouldn't apply. Of course, if everybody's attractive, nobody's attractive, really.
Okay, so the universe is cold and indifferent. I'm going to say what you notice, and you really notice it, is that people are looking at you. And as as these sailors are going by, you're just hearing the words Gulf of Loon. You're hearing the words, what is it? Got to pull up my map. Yeah, Gulf of Loon, the name Harlan, the Grey Havens. Basically, people wondering if that's where you're coming from, or that's why you're here. We didn't see an elven boat come in. So people are more kind of pushing you for information.
Well, clearly there aren't any elves hanging out here then. So, and he's got no problems telling him why he's here. He's just, I'm on a mission. I'm not doing anything in particular. Although I was escorting a few that were headed west. Perhaps they'll pass by in the near future.
Okay. But you definitely don't see another sign of any elf, and certainly nothing in terms of elf ships coming down. So hence their surprise. Yeah, let's see here. Nain, you did a successful music instrument drum by 4.
Yeah, just an evening in the tavern. I'd be making noise, being annoying. But also, probably people enjoyed the annoying drumming.
Yeah. So people are enjoying your drumming. It's maybe a little odd, but they're kind of getting into your vibe.
The only thing you'd want out of it is some free drinks, because, dwarf.
You're going to let's see, you made your success by 2. So you know what? You're going to get I'm going to say they give you like, you end up getting like 12 copper pieces flipped onto your table, and somebody actually does bring you a drink.
He spends them all on beer.
And it looks like Tolman's going to come up to you and kind of tug at your shoulder, and he wants to ask you if you've ever heard of a place called Aaron Vor. At least that's how he's hearing it, because he was lip reading.
Aaronville. Hidden lore or history?
I would say history, and I would give that a minus. I'd give that a +1, because you know what? I'm going to say that you did spend some time there researching stuff. Maybe you came across like a map or something in the towers.
I have the most amazing dice today.
We call that you have Mel's dice.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. Sounds like some elven rubbish.
This is Tolkien. Everything sounds elvish.
And rubbish.
Okay, well, so it goes. Yeah, you're scratching your head like Aaron Vor. Yeah, not entirely sure.
For a guy with 1 million skills and 14 IQ, I'm doing so well as the lore master of the group.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Maybe it's all of some of your disads just kind of latently kicking in.
It's he's not a social person and just believes everything people tell him. So that must be it.
Okay, so the next day comes, and you meet Egray down at the docks, and he's standing there by his fishing vessel, and it's called the Sea Wing, or just Sea Wing. And he says, "This is Sea Wing. She's not the largest vessel in Launder, but she's swift, sturdy, and well kept. One of the finest you'll find in the harbor. I've sailed her for years, and she's never failed me. She's provisioned for long voyages and handles the sea with grace. I've visited the Grey Havens a few times over the years. Can't say I ever trained after Kurdan, but I actually watched him work one time. There's a quiet wisdom in the way he shapes a hull, and I've tried to carry a little of that into my own craft. So as for the journey ahead, I won't pretend to be one of those old Numenorian navigators who could read the stars like a map, but my way is simpler. We're going to follow the coast north, retracing the path I took as a boy when my father and I returned from the Lost Isle. To go back again, having once been there in reverse, you might say. It's going to be a long voyage. I can manage the Sea Wing on my own, but there's always work to be done. Sails to trim, lines to tie, watches to keep. So if you're not going to be too put out, I'm definitely going to be putting you to some work.
You are the master on this voyage, sir. I do not have any skills whatsoever with seacraft.
Nope.
Hori will look at the Sea Wing and then look up the docks both directions to see if it is actually a well-kept ship compared to all the others.
Okay. So I just want you to make an IQ check at plus, 3.
I wonder what the weather's going to be like.
That was one I should have had.
A pretty good
Success
idea
by
what
2.
the weather's going to be like.
Okay. So Hori, I don't know how much Hori knows about sailing vessels in general, but
Nothing.
just eyeing up the Sea Wing, it is like pristine. So if you were to say, if I could compare this to a dwarven made item compared to everything else I see around me, this thing looks good, solid, clean, like the ropes aren't frayed on the lines. The deck is clean. It looks like a tidy ship.
Cool. Because I was dreading that this was going to be the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And Caladorn, with your role, you know that there are fair winds blowing right this moment. In fact, fair winds that are going to be going in your favor as you step away from the docks.
Well, he is not going to pretend that he knows more.
Okay. So with that, Igre,
Being on water is unnatural for a dwarf.
Igre invites everyone to come on board and tells you to just sit down on the deck so that you're not risking falling out of the vessel as he departs from the docks.
Nain will tie himself to the central mast.
Awesome.
Well, I'd rather be put to work than just sit around. Is there anything that you could have me do?
Perhaps
Oh,
I
there
can learn
is.
how to sail. This
There
could
is
be
Master
useful.
Dwarf. There is Master Dwarf, and there is Caladorn. And I think that I could use anyone who's got a little seamanship, if any of you spent any time at sea.
Not a bit.
This
Very well.
is the first time I've been on a boat of this size.
Oh, my goodness. Well, then you all have much
Why
to
does
learn.
it move when I step on it?
Ah, yes. Well, you'll get used to that. You'll get used to the waves in time.
Tolman doesn't have any time at sea, but the captain looking at him can see that he's got perfect balance and he's looks like he was born at sea.
It's
Say,
like
didn't hobbits have a problem with boats?
Yeah, they didn't want to mess
Depends.
around with them, that's for sure.
It depends on the family.
Oh, is that a clan-based thing?
It is. I want to say the Tooks are considered weird because it's Brandy Bucks.
Yeah, there was somebody
Oh.
that was weird because they liked boats, and I
Did
thought
you have
Smeagol
us
was one
roll?
of them.
So I
Did you
must
have us
say,
roll for
this
like
use of
seasickness?
trees to move on water is much better than trees growing in the sky.
No, we didn't have any rolls for seasickness. He had just departed, and he is following the coastline. So he's not going out into the open ocean. He's just following the coastline north. Okay, so you start to head north, and at this point, we're going to shift over to some rolls. And so the first thing that Igre says is, he kind of eyes Gwaithon, perhaps instinctually, and he says, who amongst you might have the best eye?
Best what, sorry?
Eye. Eye for seeing things.
That
What
would
do
be the
your
dwarf
elf
guy
eyes
to the
see?
mast staring at books.
So everyone turns to the elf.
I see perfectly well, and I don't know anyone else who can or cannot. So, sure. Do you need me to see something?
I just want you to keep your eye out. Look for things in the water, perhaps things on the horizon.
Ah,
It's been known that there are pirates about. Not very frequent, but you never know.
caravan guard it is.
Okay, so we'll give you the role of lookout. He says, who here is comfortable with managing lines? The various rigging of the ship. That's the ropes you see going up to the mast and such.
I'm strong, if that helps.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't have a skill for that. I don't have knot tying or anything like that.
okay.
Dwarves have a low center of gravity. That's good.
But I am willing to learn.
Which of you might be the smarter of the two?
We are both at 11.
All right. He says, "Well, if I had a smart person who knew their way about these ropes, I could use a good bosun."
I have a IQ of 13 and not tying of 15, if that helps at all.
I think you should be the bosun then.
But he's smart, just not wise.
Okay. What about Nain? What would you like to do? Do you want to be a deckhand along with, Hori? The dwarves will be deckhands.
Nain doesn't even respond. He's too busy digging through his pile of books and reading while
Okay.
trying to stay as firmly ground on the ship as possible.
I think
Not
we never
comfortable on a
actually
ship.
introduced your little ally, did we?
There's
Here's
a
an
guy
ally.
following Nain around who is carrying a back overladen with books and other random gear. And whenever Nain talks to him, he calls him Grog. Whether or not that's his name is another story.
Right. It's Bill the Pony.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he told me we were getting on a ship, so I'm like, well, I can't bring a pony. I guess I need to get an ally to carry things.
Okay, and that leaves someone to do some fighting, which I think we will hand over to Caledorn. You'll be the
Fighting?
Marine. You'll be the Marine.
Semper Fidelis, hoorah.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
if I knew there was fighting, I wouldn't have volunteered to clean the decks.
all right. So,
On the bright side, Caledorn can actually swim if it comes up.
Oh, Lord. I don't have swim.
okay.
Well, if it comes up, Gwaithon can swim.
Yes.
Yeah, thinking that through, this is probably the first time Caledorn's been on the ocean too. It's very exciting.
Okay, so if the blue arrows appeared, I hope they did.
It did.
Yep.
All right, so that's kind of the course he's got you set for. And
Whether it's the course we take.
yeah, so we're going to roll on the voyage events table, and we're going to make 2 rolls for 2 events.
Yeah, it's going to be a little touch and go when we go off the map.
Tomlin is really excited that he's bosun, but he has no idea what that means. But he's really excited.
I love it. It's like, this is awesome. I'm the bosun. Pay attention to me. Everybody's like, do you know what that means? Shut up. Pay attention to me.
Okay, let me see. Can I drop this table here? Hang on.
I think you have to share it for us to actually. I don't know.
It's working.
It's working. Okay, so let's have Gwython make 2 rolls off the voyage events table, please. And take
roll well.
2 rolls.
Yeah, you're going to make 2 rolls, and you're going to take the better of the 2 results, and let's just see what you come up with. 2 rolls. Or sorry, you're going to
better.
You're going to sorry, yes. Yeah, you're going to take the better. Well, we can't get much better than that, but go for a second one. Whoa, okay. Joyful sight. Let's see. What does the note say about joyful sight?
Dolphins frolicking.
Oh, another ship
Sure.
or a glorious sunset or sunrise. Maybe elven ships sailing west forever. Okay, so now we're going to roll against the event target table. I'm going to drag that in the box. Now, Gwython, can you roll and see who gets to make a skill check on this opportunity here? Just roll that event target table.
Just the one?
Yep. Hey, it's yourself.
Well, that seems appropriate.
There you go. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll against perception. And on a success, all PCs restore one hope point.
But they're not.
Wow.
They're at max right now, aren't they?
Not for Hori. Or no, it was max. Sorry, I'm sorry. So, well, there it is. You have a joyful sight. You were all at max, but anyway, if one of you had been down, you would have regained that point. So anyway, it's a glorious first day. You couldn't have asked for a better day for traveling.
What was the glorious sight there, Gwython?
Yeah, what did you see, Gwython?
It was the very ship of the elves that I was escorting earlier. There they go.
And they're breakdancing on the deck. It's super weird.
Okay, we're going to do one more roll, but before we do that, you have Ygre now point to a spit of land, and he says, we're coming up to the ill-fortuned Erin Vorn. And tell me if you see this.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the point of land called Erin Vorn.
Oh, okay. Map. I need to open the map again. Or unminimize the map. There we go.
At this point, Tolman will remember that he had read that, read that name, whatever, And if he hadn't had a chance to mention it, he will mention to the group what he heard or the other night
I got a success by 1 on area
about the
knowledge
winds.
area door. So what do I know about that area?
Okay, so first of all, Tolman, you who do you say that information to?
Who do I think is like smart person in my group?
You
You
probably
already
think
mentioned
you're
it to the smart dwarf.
Not the
He
dwarf,
didn't know
maybe
anything.
Caladorn.
Well, Caladorn did just succeed on his area knowledge, so perhaps the two of you can put your heads together.
which would be a funny sight considering, the height differences.
I'll tell him about the winds and the stuff that I overheard.
Okay. So, so Ygre says, yes, look, behold, the heights of Aaron Vorn. He said, the haunted forest. I'll share this record with you. And Caladorn, from what you can remember, long ago, in the western reaches of Minhiriath, there stood a forest so vast it seemed to stretch from horizon to horizon. And you remember being told this out of sort of tales from Numenoria, but the Numenorians named it Erenvorn, the Black Wood, even though it was green and wild in those days. But the Sea Kings, the Numenorians, grew greedy, and they really, really cut and overlogged this whole region for timber for their ships. And the only thing that remained of that vast swath of forest was Erenvorn. And some say that there are men who live in that forest who have a great and deep-seated hatred for the Arnorians, the Cardelans, basically the descendants of the Numenorians. And while Bree has stood as the last true settlement of men in the West, there are still these folk who, legend says, live in a very quiet, secretive way. And so the old tales are, if you ever walk the edge of this forest, tread lightly, because the trees remember, and so do those who dwell beneath them. But it's also a very dangerous point for mariners, which is what Ygre and what Tolman heard in the bar or the tavern, is that the trees from this forest seem to fall into the ocean here, causing danger.
So noted.
Let's have one more roll on the voyage events table, and let's have a different player roll. Let's have Caladorn roll, and you're going to make 2 die roll on this. Oh, a joyful sight again. All right. Well, buddy, you get to decide what is the joyful sight you see as you pass along the coastline. You're now kind of north of Erenvor, and what do you see?
A large number of dolphins frolicking.
Ah, there we go. Who doesn't like dolphins?
But we're not attacked, are we?
No, this is a favored die roll, meaning you get to choose the better of the 2 results.
Monsters, they're attacking us. Watch out.
Well, they are dolphins after all.
Does anybody have geography at all?
I do not. I have
Wython has
cartography.
naturalist.
Ooh.
Wait, you can make maps, but you can't tell where you're going.
No, I have navigation land.
Okay, well, geography defaults to IQ -6. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Okay. I'm going to share this image because this is what you see from the sea wing as you go along the northern coastline. Harlinden is the southern half of Linden, green and fair, nestled between the western slopes of the Blue Mountains and the southern shores of the Gulf of Loon. That gulf, deep in silver blue, split Linden in twain, for Linden to the north and Harlinden to the south, and at its head stood the Grey Havens, gateway to the sea and the west beyond.
That mountain looks like it'd be a much nicer place to be under than on this boat, on this water.
What are you talking about?
Indeed.
I'm having a blast.
So as the fishing boat sails along the coast of Harlinden, so technically we would say as it's kind of sailing around this area here, okay? Everybody except Gwaithon, starts to experience oddly similar dreams. Would one of you like to read the dream?
Sure. The dreams came in fragments, like waves breaking on a distant shore. Each night you found yourself standing in a place that felt both familiar and impossibly far away. A quiet glade, a sunlit porch, the shadowed corner of a childhood room. And always someone was waiting. Sometimes it was a parent, their face softened by memory. Other nights an old friend or a mentor long passed into legend. They did not speak with anger nor with judgment, but with quiet sorrow that settled deep into the bones. Why have you wandered so far? They would ask. Where do you think this road will take you? It was not the voyage aboard the Sea Wing they were questioned, nor the island whispered of in Aglian's visions. It was something deeper. Why had you left the warmth of home, the safety of hearth and kin, for the long and perilous road that now stretched behind them like a trail of ash? Had something driven you away? A bitter word spoken in haste, a silence that grew too heavy to bear? Were you chasing a dream or fleeing a truth? Was this quest noble or foolish? The dream never answered, it only asked, and when you awoke, the question lingered, like mist on the morning tide, or the echo of a voice carried far across the water.
Thank you. And to that I add this. As each dream fades, the figure changes, taking on the appearance of an old woman, haggard and careworn, sitting hunched in the shadow of a great stone. She reaches out withered hands and she asks each of you, "Tell me, what will become of you? Where does thy road end, except in death and sorrow?" So this is the first time each of you gets to make a resistance to a shadow test, because this is going to be worth 1 point of shadow dread if you fail your will check. And remember, it's a modified will check. So if you have bonuses like combat reflexes, or you have disadvantages that would take your will down, you got to incorporate those.
All right. Yes. Success by 3.
Or he succeeds by 2.
Is fright check already in our character sheet?
Guys, I passed a roll.
Well done, Dane.
No,
I guess not.
I just put it on other all the time. It's just an automatic instinct on mine.
Okay, excellent. Everyone passed. So you do not suffer a point of shadow. Okay, what do you say And perhaps I would have Gwaithon just make a perception check in general, Gwaithon, just to see how these guys are sort of reacting in their sleep. And yeah, so you can tell that they're all having sort of troubling dreams. Would you, each of you who had the dream, like to describe your sort of, what do you do with that?
Who wakes up first?
Oh, it could be any one of them, but let's see here. Let's say it's Calidorn that wakes up first.
Yeah, that's going to make sense. He has the light sleeper disad, which I forgot about because I haven't looked at this character in ages.
Your dreams trouble you, Dunedain.
An old woman, yes. I wonder if it is ascending. You know, Numenorians of ages past were able to send their thoughts, much like you elves.
I haven't learned that trick yet. I am young.
Yeah, that's true. I probably had forgotten about that, Calidorn will probably look at him and say, yes, it is not often that I travel with an elf younger than me.
Yeah, technically Gwaithon is basically a late teen.
In fact, it is entirely possible, now that I'm thinking about it, that Calidorn is one of the oldest people on the boat, or is the oldest person on the boat. How old is the old man, Igre?
Igre, oh, I'd probably put Igre actually in his 50s. He's had a rough life.
And Calidorn is the oldest guy on the boat. Wait, depends on how old Nain is. By name.
124.
Okay. Calidorn's the second oldest person on the boat.
Yeah, we don't even want to think about how old Gwaithon is.
He's a kid.
He's 60.
Sure. Well, good heavens, he is.
Well, not even an adult yet.
Oh, he is an adult. Technically, they're adult at 50. So he's barely an adult. He's like one of those annoying tweens.
Oh, gosh. Okay, who wakes up next, and do you want to say anything about your dream? Let's have Tolman.
Oh Lord. I don't know if he's really affected so much by dreams.
If you don't want to say anything about it, that's fine. You can keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to say about it.
Okay. Nain, how about you?
I shall build a kingdom under the greatest mountain, where moss and fungus cover every surface, where gold and mithril are abundant.
So, well, okay then.
And there are no trees.
Hori, what do you say about the dream, if anything?
Hori, when he wakes, he'll say, "You all had the same dream. This does not bode well." And he'll be looking at Calidorn, and his stare will sort of sit on him, awkwardly long.
Be of good cheer, Master Dwarf. We are riding to face the shadow, as all good people of the Middle Earth should do.
Well, that's what troubles me. If we share the same dream, then the shadow knows that we are coming.
Good.
That'll save us the trouble of looking for it, Master Dwarf.
Ah, I best make sure my axe is sharp.
Always a good idea.
Okay. So you carry on up the coastline. And you come to the Gulf of Loon.
We have to pull up in a scenic shot and say the name.
Ooh, pretty.
The Gulf of Loon.
This is the Grey Havens, isn't it?
They are at the end of that gulf, yeah.
It is?
Huh?
Oh, okay. Grey Havens. Okay. I was thinking of the wrong place.
But there's something
You're
else you
thinking of
see.
the other side?
Mm-hmm.
There's something else you see. Off in the west, as the day draws to an end. What's your reaction, Grathon?
Ooh. He'll definitely call that one out and said, "Pay attention to that. You may not see it again."
Does anybody understand outside of Grathon what that's about?
I think Caledorn is going to understand it, but he's not as steeped in the lore as he should be.
You down? A whole hell of a lot more of them do.
No, Grathon doesn't have to roll for this. This is a well-known reality for the elves, if he wishes to explain it.
It's Valinor, isn't it? If they go to? Is that the name of the place?
I believe that's right.
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah, so you see these gray sails on the western horizon, but they do not vanish. They continue into the sky like soaring gulls as the elves take the old straight road into the west.
Is this something that is known to the dwarves?
Oh, I definitely think it would be.
At least generally, probably.
Yeah, like
There is much
everybody knows about
animosity,
that.
so they definitely keep tabs on each other.
I don't think you might understand the concept of going into the west, but there's probably every chance that Gwython and Hori and Nain have heard about this remarkable thing of the ships going into the west, but not realizing that the road that is straight actually leaves the plane of the earth.
It's kind of like I always say about cruise ships and that sort of thing. Really big things like that. You see pictures of it in photographs, and you can see it scale marked against another ship or a person standing next to it, and you go, "Oh, that's really big." But when you actually see it physically, your eyes and your brain actually measures the thing, and now you really understand how big it is. So it's probably a bit like that, where you see them going off and they're not following the curvature of the earth. Your brain recognizes this is wrong.
Yeah, Caledorn is just going to probably just be staring at it in absolute awe.
So, what's your feelings, Gwython, as you see this?
Ori will he'll ask, is that the fate of all your kind?
Actually, is it? I think it is.
It's
I don't know if it's like a thing you have to do or if it's a thing that just everybody does.
I think it's a choice.
It's a compulsion.
Right. It's that sense of like we want to yearn to go back, but we might have reasons to stay, and so that compulsion is there, but the choice is there too.
The compulsion starts at some point and reaches like absolute critical at the end of the third age.
Yeah. So if you go off of original the Lord of the Rings, Gwython should never have set foot on this boat because now he has seen the ocean and the longing is already going to start setting in.
Well, it's probably worse now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
probably
why-
super bad now.
That's why I
Oh.
asked, how about your emotions? What are you feeling?
His father was drunk on the day he was supposed to tell me about that. Don't go near the ocean. Yeah, so Gwython is just transfixed by the whole thing and says, I think one day I will have to do this, but not today.
Yeah, because if you remember in the books, for those of you who've actually read them, when they are in speaking with Galadriel, she warns Legolas that about this, and he actually does see the sea when they are traveling, and it starts kicking in.
So you carry on north along the coastline of Forlinden. And this is what you see as you carry forward. The coastline is a landscape of steep, foreboding cliffs and crashing waves. And when the wind blows from the west, it threatens to drive the sea wing into the many hidden rocks and shoals. And Captain Ygre must fight the tiller and call every hand on board to the lines and sails. But the west wind is still better than the north wind, which carries with it the bite of ice. And the odd dreams fade, but the wildness of the coastal areas really have an effect on your ability to sleep comfortably. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have some rolls. This is going to be again on the voyage events table. And there's going to be 2 rolls or two separate events that we're going to roll for. And each is unmodified. So you're just going to make one roll, and that's the result we get. So who would like to make that roll on the voyage events table?
I can do it. Well, never mind.
Too slow.
Good heavens. Joyful sight again. Oh yeah, you just have to roll the once for this one. So just one roll, and it's a joyful sight again. So describe, Hori, what is the joyful sight, which is perhaps even more enjoyed because you're in these rougher seas? What is it that makes it a joyful sight?
It will be a truly magnificent landscape.
Okay. Sort of like perhaps the sun kind of breaks through the clouds and pierces a stellar piece of land on the coastline of Forlinden.
Casts golden shadows on the cliffs, and it's just awe-inspiring.
Okay, awesome. I'm not going to have anybody targeted to make a roll because we know what the result is. It's you restore a hope point, but that's moot. Okay, awesome. Okay, Tolman, would you roll from that voyage events table, because this will be the second event that we'll check for. Oops, no, let's try the voyage events table.
Oh, sorry. Voyage events. My bad. 12.
Wow, we are just, this is the best first ship ride you've ever had, you guys.
Don't worry, things will be able to bring it back with his roll.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, if you want a bad event, just let me roll it. I'm doing so well today.
That's right, there it is. Working down the line, we're getting to you. just for the great part too. Okay, so what's the joyful sight, Tolman? What does everybody see that just lifts their spirits?
I was gonna say dolphins, but Rigel already took that one.
Neener, neener, neener.
Orcas?
Maybe you know
I got
what?
one ready to go.
I got one.
Bioluminescent,
So
bioluminescent seas.
I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe I don't know a lot about the hobbits and all that, but I remember they like the smoke. So I'm thinking maybe he sees a bunch of clouds that reminds him of like two, his favorite Uncle Bilbo and him having a smoke together, and like the clouds are in the shape of them, you know, smoking their
Okay,
pipes. Something like
excellent.
that.
So, inspiring cloudscapes that bring you a memory of a time with your kin and kith and kin.
Had he actually brought up the fact that he's related to Bilbo?
I think he just did. Well, was that an
Before,
outward voice? I don't think he did. But are you related to Bilbo?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much it matters in the game or not, but he's like a second-ish cousin of, or Bilbo's like a cousin, but he's older, so he's more like an uncle.
Well, if you brought him up here just then Gwython is definitely going to grill you about, oh, Bilbo. You're going to have to arrange a meeting for me. I need to meet him one day.
Yeah, I know Hori because I think Cassandra used to hang out with Hori. I can't remember if it was Caladorn as well, but he and Cassandra grew up together, hearing all of Bilbo's stories as he was writing his book, from his adventures, and that's kind of what got him
Okay,
inspired.
so if you grew up with Cast, then you're going to know Caladorn because he has been sort of basically patrolling the outskirts of the Shire for many years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It would explain why perhaps he and Cassandra hung out so much and were equally inspired by Bilbo. Yeah, so Caladorn, I think what we should do is have you perhaps make a series of health rolls because of your light sleeper disad.
Yeah, how many though? That's where we run into the problem.
So I think that, I mean, again, we're not really tracking time here. Do you want to just make?
I was going to say maybe just roll a d6 or 2d6 and say, that's how much I'm down temporarily. Like a d6.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just thought maybe just kind of a couple of rolls per leg of the trip, that sort of thing.
So I'll go ahead and just roll a d6 and say he's lost that much because he's not accustomed to the noises and such like that.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, good roll.
All right. So I'm going to say that
joyous sights.
Exactly. The reality is that this actually has been a fairly remarkably good trip compared to what it could be. Must have got those loaded dice from the tavern keeper.
Nice callback.
All right, so you pass the coastline of Forlinden. It's imposing, and yet you have some very hopeful images as you cross the coast itself, which brings us to the northern seas. To head west, and you can see Himling here. Now, before we go to this next leg, while the ship has kind of been going around the coastline of Forlinden, over the course of the last couple of days, you've all noticed that Ygre is scanning the coastline intently. He's looking for something.
Well, again, I'm curious. I will ask him what he's looking for.
So you've all become better acquainted with Egray, and his rough exterior is simply hiding a very sorrowful heart. So he will say this to each of you at different times if you should ask him. And what he says is, "You want to know of my voyages? Well, listen well. When I was but a boy, my father and I were caught in a storm that tore us from the shores of Daer and hurled us into the open ocean. We were adrift for days, maybe weeks. I lost count. But the sea carried us to Tol Morwen, far beyond where any sailor from our city had ever dared to go. It was not by skill, mind you, but by the sea's own fury that we made that journey. Still, I returned home, and from that day forward, I was known as the greatest of mariners. I wore that title like a crown, and I spoke of it often. Too often, perhaps. My daughter, Elwing, grew up with those tales ringing in her ears. She learned the lines and sheets from me, every knot and current, every whisper of wind. But she wanted more. She wanted to outmatch me, to sail farther, to prove herself greater than the man who had once been blown to glory. 2 years ago, she set out on her own voyage, and she never came back. I tell myself she will return, that one day her sail will rise on the horizon, and she'll come home with stories of her own. But in the quiet moments, I know the truth. I filled her head with dreams born of accident. I made her believe the sea could be mastered when I myself had only survived it by chance. If she is lost, well, then it is I who led her there."
Gain heart there, Master Mariner. You gave her a strong name.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you. What can I say? A father's heart wants to know the truth of what's happened to his child, no matter how old she is.
Did not your last adventure involve saving families? I wonder if this is becoming a purpose.
That would be a wonderful purpose, would it not?
Surely.
So,
Damn, we don't have a proper bard.
you
I was already thinking about making a musical influence role to make him feel better about himself, but I'm like, it doesn't matter.
you pass the island of Himling.
For those of you who are unaware, the name Elwing is actually pretty important. That is Elrond's mother.
Mother. Okay. I knew it was related.
So you see this great humpbacked mound, wide shoulder, with a flattened top, rise into eyesight from the north. And
Yeah,
snow lies
that's
heavily. Snow lies heavily on the treeless isle, and you can see that there are these little huts, skins stretched over timber frames on the shoreline, but it doesn't look like there's anyone actually out there, and anyone with a keen perception can tell that they have not been used for a very long time. And so Egray presses on, and he presses on to the west from Himling, going somewhere that none of you would ever have imagined that you'd ever go before. And as he presses on, the next in the chain is a dark island, thickly wooded in parts with steep hills and shadowed vales, and it has an evil look to it. And from afar, you can see winged shapes circling the hills like tremendous bats.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the island that you pass along that you see there in the image.
You would think it would have more snow on it, considering the other image.
You would think.
So Tol Fuin, how do you say that?
Fuin?
Fuin?
That's the ultimate destination?
No, he continues to sail along the coastline.
Yeah, there's Tulmarwin is the one we were headed for.
Does anybody want to try to make another history roll? Could be a history of Eriador, history at -2 for Eriador.
I have area knowledge Eriador, but I don't have history. I just have history Dunedain.
History dwarves, but probably not relevant this far away from anything.
You want to try and default it?
Sure.
Like throw maybe another throw like maybe another -2 for like a -4.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing.
There you go.
So well.
Whoa, yeah, this is going to be tough. I've got an affected skill of 5.
Can't be as terrible as me.
And failed by 8. So that was worse.
Okay.
So
go ahead. Go ahead. Somebody was going to say something?
I think he was just going to say it's not a crit.
No. Okay. Well, fails by 8, fail by 5. So no, there's kind of no really recollection of the history of this place outside of that general knowledge that there were islands that are remnants from the first age. But those creatures flying on this island are very unnerving. And then he turns to the south a bit. And you see this from the distance.
That would be the one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Why did the weird, creepy islands just keep getting creepier?
So you see this, and Ygre says, this is Tolmarwin. And as the Sea Wing approaches Tolmarwin, a sudden squall blows out of the northeast, and a chill wind falls and sweeps over the deck of the Sea Wing. And you can hear it, and it's terrifying, strange voices in the wind, and you suddenly can glimpse shadowy shapes riding in the air, evil spirits, disembodied and terrible, and they sweep down onto the Sea Wing. And they sweep over the decks, through the rigging, through the sails. Nothing seems to be able to stop them. They rail and rake at you with icy clawed spectral hands, and Ygre freezes in terror as this horrible image from the shadow descends upon the Sea Wing, and everybody is going to have to make a fright check at -4.
Yay.
Nice rolls.
Most of us.
Instinctively, Hor is going to be swinging at these wraiths.
Damn it.
I assume his
Failed by
axe
5.
His axe just passes through them harmlessly.
Okay. So, Nain, you succeed in your fear check. Caledorn, you fail by 5. Gwaithon succeeds by 1. Tolman fails by 4. Hori, you succeed by 2. Now, Nain, tell us about the phantom voice is annoying.
That's a pass on Phantom Voices because it's 6 or below. But they just be annoying, creepy voices echoing through his mind, reminding him that there's something just not quite right going on in the world.
Okay. So I'm not going to have you roll on the fright table, but the whole point of the fright check was for you to be able to actually do your jobs on the ship to prevent it from crashing into the island and onto the rocks. And so even though Igre freezes, one of you, let's see, who succeeded the most? Nain.
Hey, we need to get back to work.
All right, I'm gonna say that Hori.
My drum in a.
Hori, you almost instinctively just plant yourself at the tiller, knocking Igre to the deck, and you start in some instinctual way to move this ship forward, passing through some rocks. But everybody is going to have to make a modified will check. This is going to be your shadow test to resist the shadow accompanying the attack by these specters.
Are they any penalties?
Just your typical modifiers to your will check.
Since I failed the fright check, should I apply the fail by to that?
Ooh, I hadn't even thought of that. Well, let's have a discussion about that. Should we apply for those who failed the fright check some sort of a negative to that?
Well, for starters, so I wasn't around for when we did this the first time. Is this an actual fright check for all practical purposes?
No, it's actually a will check, and it's not limited by the fright check 14 rule.
Right, but is it using the same mods?
No. You just use the modifiers
so it's just raw will.
Yeah, it's your raw will and any mods that your disadvantages or advantages give you. So, for instance, the combat reflexes would give you a bonus.
Okay.
In that case, I probably wouldn't add it. If it's not a fright check sort of thing, I wouldn't add the margin of failure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you just go with your raw will.
Yay. Success by 1. That would have been a fail by 4 if I did apply it.
Now, did you say everybody was rolling that, or just the ones that failed?
No, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I think we have Tolman who's stepped away, or is he back?
I do like that resist shadow. I'm going to add that to mine.
So, for those who failed, you're going to get 2 points of shadow from the sorcerous nature of this attack. Okay, so Tolman, he makes his will check.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Now I had given some more thought to this whole shadow test thing because, as Giger points out, I too was wondering, like, maybe should we adjust it so that it's you it's like a fright check. I'm going to give that some more thought, but you all give it some thought too, because maybe that increases the challenge.
I could see it going either way. Making it actually just a will check is a reasonable thing to do, but then combat reflexes wouldn't apply.
Yeah, and my thought is if you fail a fright check, that really should have some application.
Yeah, that would make sense. Even if
this
it's
is why
just
I'm
like
thinking-
a -1 to it or something.
If you're not acquainted with the horror rules, they actually do some pretty good like escalation with 2 pools as well. So it has the twin pool aspect that you're running with
Hmm.
as well. And it like the accumulation of like points to detriments towards your characters. So I strongly recommend looking at the GURPS horror rules if you can have a copy.
Yeah, the
yeah,
GURPS horror has the corruption, and then there's the pyramid that has mad as bones, which is a similar situation. But both of those are a bit more crunchy than probably he was looking for, which is probably why we were not doing it.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I did take a look
fair
at
enough.
that. Yeah, I took a look at that, and what I wanted to do was kind of keep with the flavor of the One Ring, because again, when your shadow points basically beat your hope points, you acquire the condition of miserable.
Ah, okay,
And-
that's how that
And
worked.
yeah, and so miserable
Okay.
means you are not going to get a better roll than on anything. Any attempt by any roll, a 14 or higher will fail. And then if your shadow points match your hope points, i.e., your IQ, like your total, you're going to have the rule of 9 or worse on all your rolls. So this is the threat of acquiring shadow points. Is it really starts to oppress you, especially if you start burning hope points in the game.
Given that, I don't think combat reflexes would come into it. It seems more like a mental fortitude than sort of a fright type effect.
Right.
Yeah, I'd
So-
agree with
so
that.
just
because
will.
also looking at the lore, you've got like the greatest warriors because they're greedy, because they want to fight and prove that they are the strong ones. That's an aspect that the darkness can latch onto. So because they're a good fighter, it's actually a detriment to them.
All right. So perhaps we could, moving forward, we could just say it's your will modified by racial advantages, disadvantages, but the combat reflexes won't give you that edge.
That's probably reasonable.
Yep. Clearly, I'm
Okay.
gonna have to spend some points into extra will.
Okay.
Now, having
Um,
said that, so you probably could institute something. Well, I don't know how applicable this would really be, but resistance. So there could be resistance to shadow, and there could also be weakness to shadow. I guess it's weakness or susceptibility. I don't remember which one. It basically just a bonus or penalty to resist.
Yeah, like
You
I
would-
think in the yeah, go ahead. Monkey.
You'd model that as a bonus or penalty to your will, with the limitation, only
Only for that
for
purpose.
shadow.
Yeah,
Right.
so dwarves would get a penalty then.
I think again
And men.
the idea here is you're resisting with that raw ability. But yes, if you wanted to make it a little more susceptible or resistant, fine. But for now, we'll just say, yeah, we won't allow the fright or the combat reflexes to give you that edge.
And you said that the long defeat that the elves were going to have, that was going to apply to taking shadow off, not the gaining of it in the first place.
That's right. So basically, where others can take that sort of time at Yule to to get rid of all their shadow because they're just resting it with hearth and home, elves will I think only be able to reduce it by, what did I say? I think there's always going to be like a point that's lingering. Let me just check that out.
Yeah, where did you write that actually? Was that on the boards?
Well, it's here in. So elves suffer from a racial memory of the long defeat and can only remove a maximum of 1 point of shadow in that Yule. period. So it really cripples them if they cannot resist the shadow.
Okay. Is that ever or just one at a time?
So I think sorry, you're saying, is that ever or just one?
Yeah, is it they can only ever remove 1 point?
Yeah, at that in that recovery phase.
Per phase, okay.
Per period of
Yeah.
rest, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to actually put that in the notes on the trait so I could remember it.
I just realized this makes eidetic memory a bad trait.
I guess it could.
I am reminded of the Dresden Files, where he has a perfect memory if he's using his sight. So he can see the most amazing thing. He will always remember it. He can also see the most horrifying thing and will always remember it.
Okay, moving right along. If anybody has, again, now we'll do a little history here. Eriador -2, history of Beleriand, or if you want to do the dwarven history at -4. Let's see what you might know of old lore for Tol Morwen. And remember, you can use your hope points to try to assist you in things.
Do you have to declare before?
Yeah, you do. You got to say, like, I'm going to burn a hope point to give myself a +1.
I will burn 4 hope points to
Ay,
give
ay, ay,
myself
ay,
a
ay.
+4.
Ay, 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 ay. Depends on how much valuable you think this information is going to be.
Probably not that valuable, but I have them all, so, you know.
Nope.
I didn't
So
know.
you didn't fail. Okay, so this was your modified dwarven with the points you burn. Okay, so tag your points in the resources that you spent for.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to share this with you, and you can read it to the players. Hopefully you got that.
Of the great stories that come down to us from the Elder Days, the saddest is the tale of Turin, who struggled against the dreadful doom that stalked him,
Right.
slew the first of the dragons after the fall of Gondolin. Now Turin was laid to rest on a hilltop, and his mother wept over him, and it was prophesied that his grave would remain unspoiled until the world's ending. Oh shit. When some say Turin will return to battle the enemy at the last battle, in time the world changed, and all the difficult to pronounce Tolkien word, Beleriand ground beneath the waves.
Beleriand.
Thanks. And saved Turin's grave and a few other places in the east. In time, the sailors of Numenor discovered the grave and raised there a tower to guard the isle. For Turin was a kingsman of the ancestors of the line of kings. The isle became a place of pilgrimage for the knights and heroes of Numenor, a place of oath swearing and the making of fellowships and covenants. And yet the world changed again. Numenor sank, and the isle was lost once more. But Turin still slumbers there, beneath the earth, until the world's ending. Guys, I think we have a problem.
I knew I had recognized Tolmorin from somewhere, but I couldn't remember where.
So all the dead spirits flying around weren't a problem enough?
Turin, son of Huron.
Nain, can you explain? We know mechanically how you succeeded, but what was it about seeing the island that jogged your memory?
It wasn't just seeing the island that jogged my memory. He's had his nose buried in books trying to find anything that he's might have come across in his travels on these old stories, but it's a tale of one of the heroes of Numenor whose stories managed to reach even the dwarven ears under the mountains, because it's just this flash, like the annoying voices in the back of his head just tickled in the right way at the right moment to remind him of the legendary tale.
You kind of broke up there for me, but I think we got the gist of it.
Dane went a little loopy and remembered things.
Okay. So I'm going to, because you spent the hope points and it cost you 4, and you succeeded, and you've been pouring through your books because, well, Grog brings them and he's your ally, and so you've got your portable library with you. I'm going to see if I can find a little bit of information for you about Tyrannus, because perhaps you found something in your books that will help you. Does that sound fair?
Oh, whatever's fine. I just wanted to pass a roll for a change this game.
All right.
Okay, here
It's
we
like
go.
I'm the law master and I failed all the law rolls.
Let me see if I can find something for you, my friend.
I did specifically ask you if there's any more books I should get.
Yeah, wait till we get into combat and I miss.
That's my job.
Okay, did you get that little bit?
Durandus was a knight of the Arthedain in the
Arthedain, good
waning
job.
days. Yay!
You'll
Of
get
the
there.
Northern Kingdoms during the wars against Angmar. She was in service of King Arvel, whose grandson was Avendui, was the last ruler of the North Kingdom.
And this.
Oh, once there was a king who lived in a golden palace by a lake. Many a knight served him. And the greatest of these knights was Paradis. Elven fair, she was maiden of polished steel. With her companions, she went on errantry across the lands, fighting trolls and dragons and such things. Then the king's Agmar arose, and all the lands fell into shadow. In those days, Tyrannus was like a blazing beacon all along the hills. Wherever the day was darkest and the fog thickest, she was there. Her star fell in the north, the stories say, but I've heard that she'll come back when she's needed.
And Caledorn, that is going to trigger in your mind a very, very ancient memory, probably something your grandmother may have told you about this heroine of the old kingdoms, Tyrannus. So do you share that with everybody, Nain?
Yes.
Whether they want it or not.
Bosworth, he's going to just say it out loud, very loudly.
You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to have the 2 events rolled for the Northern Seas to Tol Morwen. Oh, aren't you glad I remembered?
Isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
You lucky guy. Hang on, I'm going to drop that voyage events table for you here.
User disconnected from your channel.
Who did we lose? Rigel. Let's just wait out till he joins us again. I'm going to grab a cup of, or a bottle of water. Hang on.
Aw, wasn't that terrible?
Okay, I'm back. So you rolled twice. That's the way to do it. And you're going to take the worst of those rolls. And so it's going to be becalmed. And so we are going to have you roll on the target table to see which sailor has to make a skill check. So if you could make one more roll on that table I just dropped there, Nain.
Just a sec.
Okay, it looks like it's Hori, because Hori was going to be the Marine, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he was the deckhand. He was jealous that Caledorn was the Marine.
Caledorn. Caledorn was the Marine. Thank you. Is Rigel back with us?
No, you're not in TeamSpeak.
Okay.
You're going to make me roll it now, aren't you?
No. Who hasn't rolled for a voyage events table yet?
User joined your channel.
Okay,
Hey,
I'm
he's
back.
back.
Hey,
Fucking
welcome
Windows
back.
11 is pissing me off. Just randomly stops, working for the sound. I got to, you said it triggered a memory of Tyrannus, and then it cut out right at that point.
Okay, just to catch you up. So what I'm saying is as Nain is telling you all of this, and he's gonna be telling you all this while you're becalmed, because I forgot to take everybody and do the voyage rolls for this leg of the journey. So you become becalmed, you lose the wind, and while you're becalmed, Nain he finds in his research he finds a reference to all that information he told you about Tyrannus, and you have this memory of what something your grandmother or maybe your great grandmother told you about this amazing knight, this heroine. Um, you knew you'd heard that name Tyrannus before. This is what seals it for you: is that it's like she was this amazing knight of the realm, and you believe it was like Arnor.
Okay.
And then Nain rolled on the event table and got becalmed, and you got the one to have to make the skill check as the Marine. So what you got to do is there's no wind, so the company must keep each other's spirits up in the face of an unchanging horizon. And it's possible that, bad dreams fray the nerves while you're having bad dreams. But you could also discover that Igra put some spoiled provisions on the ship, or something's gone bad. Anyway, you need to make technically any irrelevant fighting skill you wish. You just have to succeed at that roll.
A fighting skill.
Yeah.
That's odd. Okay. Obviously I'd want to go for my high one.
Yep. Okay.
Success by 8, easy peasy.
Easy peasy. So you don't gain a shadow point. That was going to be the effect of that.
Well,
However, everybody has to take one fatigue point.
Yeah, why are you shooting us?
I was shooting the fish, so we actually have something to eat since the food's spoiled.
I'm assuming any previous fatigue has all been recovered.
Oh, yeah. Okay, awesome. You tried to shoot at the fish. It's becalmed, and perhaps you all just kind of ate some off food of some description, and it's taken its toll with your all becoming fatigued. Okay, who has not rolled yet on a voyage event table?
I think I have. Didn't
Hori,
I?
have you
Hori has.
rolled? Hori has. Tolman, have you rolled on the voyage event table? I think Caledorn, or no, sorry, Gwaithon was the first. Are you there, FX?
Oh, yes. Sorry. You
Yeah.
said Tolman?
Yeah. Has Tolman, have you ever rolled on the voyage events table yet?
I rolled for, I got like a joyful sighting.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. So we're back to Gwaithon then, I think, to roll, make 2 rolls and take the worst. Giger, you there?
Now he's having the issues. We're seeing the light, not hearing you.
Okay. All right. So that's fine. I'll seal your doom. I'll roll it. Oh, there we go. There we go. Bad weather is worse than becalmed, I believe. Yes, indeed. Okay, so you suddenly hit a storm before you hit the squall, if you will. Bad weather. Okay, so a
Wait,
storm.
I thought we took the better of the two.
No. This is ill-favored on this trip into these.
Okay.
Yeah. So a storm, foul winds, a maelstrom, grinding ice, the northern sea. So now you get to roll as to who has to make a skill check. So roll on the event target table, please. Oh, it's Caledorn's. You lucky fella.
Okay.
So, let's say, let's see here. What skill could you use if you were in bad weather?
Survival?
Yeah, but I only have it in plains
Leadership?
and woodlands.
Mm.
Woohoo! I have a 10 leadership.
I mean, it does say you can use your fighting skill because you are the Marine.
Hoorah!
Could it perhaps be like maybe some ice forms up on like the mast and comes crashing down?
Sure, I'll use the broadsword instead of the bow to reflect that.
Okay.
Success by 8.
Excellent. Yeah, because if the roll had failed, everyone was going to have to make an active defense roll or take some damage.
Falling ice.
Let's see here. Okay. Awesome. Well done. Okay, so now we'll just move forward. The attack from the spirits happens. Hori grabs the tiller and rams the sea wing into the shallows of the island of Tol Morwen.
Hey, real quick before we move on, and I haven't got the chance to look it up here, but we took a fatigue point for bad food.
That's correct.
Yeah. So just because I actually have it, I'm going to try to use body control and purge myself of that.
Why?
And I almost succeeded. Okay.
I just how did you purge it? That's my. I mean, I'm asking seriously.
It's technically poison, so he's flushing the poison out of his system. Don't ask how that works. So
We're not. Okay.
he didn't quite get there.
I'm going to share what you see as you come crashing into Tol Morwen, because no sooner do you sort of crash than you sort of like the sky's clear. They're still overcast, but it's not like it was in that hellish image. Hopefully I've obscured the map correctly. Are you seeing the entire thing
Nope.
or just part of it?
It is
Just
masked.
part of it.
Okay.
All the scary bits are hidden.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So
Well, it
you
kind of
can
makes it scary.
you can see the you see where the ship has landed here.
Yep.
Ah.
Zoom in.
Yeah. And right next to it is an encampment.
There are tents.
And
With smoke.
with smoke. So there's people here. And as the ship comes to a stop and Hori, I don't know, Hori, describe how you feel after you've managed to actually steer this damn thing.
He feels a sense of relief because steering ships and stuff like that is not his thing. And he certainly
Probably
can't
made a right
swim.
mess of it too.
He can't swim. So he's glad that we actually made it to land, and he will hurriedly disembark.
Okay. So you bring it into sort of the almost like a natural harbor down here, and you see these tents. They've been erected. Obviously, the people that erected them know what they're doing, but you've heard of the snowmen of Foreshell, and this is a tribe of the Lossoth people. And so they all come out and sort of look at you, but I wouldn't say that they're looking at you with immediate hostility. There's just that sense of like they've got their spears, they've got bows, but they're not pointing them at you because obviously you're a fishing vessel. But Igre, who turns to Hori and says, thank you, good dwarf, for grabbing the tiller when you did. I don't know, I was terrified by what happened, but thank you for saving the Sea Wing. When he sees the Lossoth, he just says, I'm going to stay on the ship. I don't really feel like I need to go on shore. I need to do an inspection of the ship and make sure it's fine. What do you do?
Or he will say, well, I'll be glad to feel some solid ground under my feet after this voyage.
Yes. Stepping foot on the earth again, even if it's not under the mountain, will be preferable to this voyage.
So this is Telmarwyn. Were we expecting people here? And did the shipmaster say that he knew what these people were?
Yeah, he called them snowmen, but they're he says they're a tribe of the Lossoth people from Foreshell, far to the north.
Should we be concerned? Are they dangerous?
I'm suspicious of them. I don't know their kind well, but they're people of the land. I just really will stay on the ship myself. And as they gather around and they're pointing, and you're getting a bit of a closer look. It looks like they've been here for a while. They're looking kind of gaunt and hollow-eyed.
Let's hope they are welcoming to visitors.
Jump off the boat and say greetings.
Yeah. Mike on in.
Hor is actually going to grab some of the spare supplies if we have plenty.
Although we have a whole lot to trade.
Yeah, because it went sour, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Or some of it went sour.
Greetings. I am Caladorn. This is Gwaithon, Hori, and Niall and Nain and Tolman. And I don't remember what the other dude's name was. Egre?
Well, he
Egre's
stayed on the
staying on the
boat.
ship. Yeah, he's staying on the ship. He's not going to leave the ship. So this fellow looks at you and smiles, and then instantly stops smiling. It's apparent that he's not accustomed to smiling, just perhaps not his manner. He says, "I am Jagat of the Loseth." He says, I'm a little mystified to see you. May I ask how you arrived here?
In the boat?
Or more generally,
I
We come
mean,
from the south.
you come from the south. May I ask where?
Yes, as I feverishly look at my stuff. Daer, actually.
He squints a little bit, knots his eyebrow. Daer.
Break out our map, and the camera will get above us, and we can point to we left here, and now we're all the way up here.
You are from where the elves are to the south?
Some of the elves. The elves
I
who are
suppose
leaving.
that's generally true.
The elves who are leaving.
It is good to see you. We cannot seem to leave this island. Did you experience anything strange as you came here?
Yes, strange storm.
And
Strange
spirits.
storm. Yes.
Spirits.
Yes. Yes.
So we must find the source of these spirits and stop them.
Yes. This would be a good thing if this were possible.
All things are possible.
Is your ship fine? And when he says this now, as you look in the sheltered area, you also see that they have a sailing vessel in here. No, sorry, they don't. They've got little canoes they've kind of crafted. Yeah. Your ship is still seaworthy?
We hope
We
so.
are inspecting it at the moment.
While he's inspecting, we can find the source of these evil spirits.
The sailing master was looking for someone who explored here some time ago. His daughter, was it?
Yes. Named after Master Elrond's daughter. Or its mother.
What was her name?
Elwing.
At this, he frowns. Elwing.
Why
Yes.
are you frowning?
Yes, Elwing. I know her. Please come, sit. Are you hungry? We have fresh fish.
I believe I would enjoy some fresh fish.
So he invites you to come over to one of the tents, and there's a fire going on in the middle, and they're roasting some fish, and he invites you to sit down on some roughly hewn benches made from logs. Elwing, yes. She came by boat all the way to our shores. She stayed with us for some time. And she told stories that her father told her long ago about an island he saw. We heard these stories, and we knew the place. It was this place, this island, the one where we hunt the sea beasts. And we went with her. We sailed together. Unfortunately, we were attacked by these spirits as well. They overwhelmed our ship. It is crashed further up the coastline, nearer to the fortress.
You said that you can't leave. Have you tried?
We have. Every time we try to sail off the shores, even with our little vessels here, they come out and attack us and would force us back. The shore here is safe, but inland it is not.
What's inland?
Inland, there are spirits of long dead men in the forest. The stories say, do not go into those woods. There is also a ghost of an old woman on this island.
A ghost?
Yes.
Does she look like me? And, it's like, he's going to gesture to the dark hair, gray eyes.
I do not know. I have never seen the ghost. I do not explore the island. As the stories of my elders have told me, this is not a place to explore, merely to shelter before sailing on.
Please tell me that you people had enough sense to write down these stories.
He looks at Nain and just is kind of fascinated by Nain's outfit. After we came here, Elwing, she changed. Something strange came over her. She went up into the forest. We told her not to leave. It's not safe, not wise to go. And then the ghosts, they came soon after. I don't say that the young woman brought the ghosts, but maybe she did. I don't know. She left and the ghosts came. Something happened, and we have not seen her since.
Well, we'll put that on the list of things that we're going to have to do as well. And I'm also thinking we're going to need to make sure to let Agre know so he doesn't overreact. And I'm going to look at
You can tell him
Glython.
on the way because he's more likely to overreact if we tell him something like this.
Well, if he stays at the boat, he's also kind of an old and busted dude. But I am also thinking Caledorn's probably going to look at Gwython and go, perhaps you were onto something. It does seem like reuniting family is turning into our calling.
Good news, stranded people. It seems the fates have brought us to rescue you. Give us a bit to sort this out.
You do hear and overhear people, saying, well, let us take the second boat. Let's sail home. And then another one says, all boats are bad luck and bring ill fortune to those who sail in them. Someone says, we ruined our luck by sailing an Elwyn's ship. Take the second boat, it would only make things worse. And then someone from the back in the tent says, the old stories say it is the Witch King who controls the winds and holds the fealty of ghosts. We must win his favor if we are to survive.
He has been dead for centuries.
Remember, our ancestors knew spells and offerings that pleased him. Perhaps we need to do something like that.
Well, doesn't sound like it's going to end well.
Let's see what we can see before you start to resorting to spells and witch kings and that sort of thing. If we don't come back, you can do as you like.
You are free to explore the island. Of course, it is not my island, but my people are not leaving. This harbor is safe for us.
Would it be possible to scavenge from your broken boat should we need the supplies?
And he points to the timbers under your butt and to the firewood and says, yeah, we've already started.
Very well.
He says, if you climb about sort of in this direction, I'm just drawing this on the picture, you'll find the remains of the woman's boat.
Oh, indeed.
What about the other direction?
Should you climb over this direction, this will take you into the forest that we do not go into. And then looking up this way, that is almost a sheer climb up.
Looking at survival, or looking at the mountains and drawing on his experience in the mountains, which paths look safest or easiestly traversed?
Spit your words out.
Is it too early for words?
It's the coffee is wearing off.
Which path looks most easy to navigate?
Yeah.
easier.
So kind of around this way, that looks like there is a almost natural path going around this way. But this way, no, not so much.
Okay.
Well,
So we should probably go west.
And,
Egret
go
know.
west. We can at
And
least
we should-
identify the other boat and let Agra know that his daughter's boat and what condition it's in.
From these dudes, I don't remember what you called them. Where was she lost?
So she went over, I'll just use the pinger. She went over like this to go into the forest beyond.
We should follow that route.
I agree.
Well, the
And,
danger is most likely there.
and you do notice something up here. It looks like some sort of a large cairn. And he said that there's a fortress further over to the west.
Ah,
And this is a sheer climb. So Hori's correct. This is a more navigable way around.
Let's go to this western scary bit.
do we need to clear that map first?
Could take
Oh.
borrow some canoes, but no, definitely staying on land is a better plan.
For some reason,
Land is
walking the
good.
other way, I'm blocked.
Yeah, going west is probably fine for now. And we'll definitely need to let Egret know that Elwing is quite possibly on this island, and we're going to look for her.
Actually, what is the scale here?
Haha.
Yeah, I seem to
I'm
remember from the
gonna
previous one.
guess
There is
that-
no actual scale.
No, there is a scale. I have tried my best to scale it. So what you're seeing is what I kind of eyeballed it.
Okay, so you're thinking this is actual scale-ish
Oh,
as
this
far
is
as the size of the island in general.
yeah, because I was looking at the description of the fortress, which you can't see yet, but based on that, I kind of just eyeballed the rest of it.
Okay. So this is not a very big island.
No, it's not.
So yeah, I don't think it matters which direction we go first. We're going to end up the other side anyway.
Well,
So,
the
yeah.
west looks easy.
The west looks a bit easier. There may be some paths up that we encounter in that direction. And we know at least one thing over there that we need to check on anyway. So,
Yep.
yeah, I say west.
Yep, and let Egret know.
Who's going to go tell Egret?
I'll go tell him. Be of good cheer. It would seem that your daughter arrived safely to this island.
And Egret kind of drops the ropes that he was rolling in his hand at the time.
Unfortunately,
And yeah, go ahead.
Hold. Unfortunately, she is currently missing. The what'd you call them? The Losoth?
The Lossoth.
Losoth said that she spent some time with them for a while, but then seemed to get a little weird and wandered into the forest. Her boat is supposed to be over there to the west. We're gonna go find her.
Okay, so someone is going to have to make a successful influence roll on him because he is now gone completely ballistic. He is looking at them now with great anger. He is pointing his finger at them and sort of very adamantly saying they know more, they're lying. I want to talk to them myself. What have they done to my daughter? So he is now starting to flip out.
I have leadership. It's not great. So I will
start playing my drum.
I will also burn some of the hope score, I guess, to improve my leadership check here.
Now, what does the
Well-
leadership, what does it do?
That's being a leader. It's like, stop it. Hold, think, listen. What does the drums do? Nine.
Name
So this
plays
is-
a calming melody through his drum, meant to soothe his anger and make him feel less weary and more content. With the
Still
news.
your anger before I slap you.
Hori can step up there and do that while the
Oh, that
guy's
was the
feeling
wrong skill. Hang on.
Yeah, those seem counterproductive toward each other.
Yeah, still
Okay.
your anger before I slap you. We shall investigate the disappearance of your daughter, but do not do anything to turn these people against us.
Okay, so Nain, you are going to take some time because you understand that you could see the irritation on his face. Now, sway emotions typically takes a very long time to play. I think to actually do it by the book.
Yeah, 30 minutes. So I follow him around banging my drum.
Yeah. So perhaps you started to just drum on the deck, and you begin to weave something of your talents and your craft, hoping that this will bring him over.
Dragging the axe head down the side of my drum, making it sound like the ocean washing. That the sounds that I heard as the ocean and the breeze moves back and forth in the swaying motion, with the occasional rhythmic taps.
Okay. Let's see here. You win a quick contest. Ooh, fun times. So you made your roll by 8.
I can do things, guys.
And you handily beat him.
Why are you
So
doing
what-
that? We don't need to beat him.
So what's the emotion you instill in him?
Calmness.
Is that an emotion?
Contentment that he knows he's a step closer. And
Ooh,
that
that's a good way
something-
to put it.
Okay. So even though Hori did a bloody good job of trying to intimidate him, he wasn't so much won over by Hori's intimidation as the melody of that drumming. Perhaps you were singing, I don't know. But he does calm down. And he says, "You're right. Hori, you're right. You are absolutely right. This is not the time for wrath. Thank you, good dwarf. Not giving any any recognition to name.
He knows what he did. It's fine.
If we must turn to wrath, trust me, I will be there at the front. But for now, we must calm.
Whoever just sneezed in the background, that was incredibly cute.
It's a bird.
A bird.
Your bird sneezing in the background sounded cute.
Okay, I'm going to say that you meander in this general direction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can I bloody well reveal it without everything else? Ha ha!
Probably not.
Gonna try. Here we go. Ready?
You have to draw.
Oh, you're right.
Hey, finally stuff that I'm actually decent at. Tracking and hiking and wood stuff.
Well, maybe not so much wood stuff.
Did it work?
Yes.
There's a boat.
Apparently it did.
It's all gone.
Okay,
It's a boat.
so that's what you see as you come down, and indeed this is Elwing's boat, and Ygre, he's like runs down to it, and indeed the Losseth have been salvaging what they can from it because it is beyond repair.
One step closer, Ygre. I told you to be of good cheer.
You can see him fighting again, this rising thought that they've done something, that they're at fault, but he's remaining calm. What would you like to do taking a look around this area?
What looks to be the easiest way to go? Because when I zoom in, it does look like there's like it's almost a path going up.
Ish.
So pathish, kind of that away.
Okay,
Mhm.
then we will continue that way, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Hori will look over the ship to see if there's, any foul play.
No, but
Any
there's a
corpses and
parrot.
stuff.
No, but there's a parrot on that ship.
It's a snow parrot.
So you don't see any foul play, Hori. In fact, Ygre just simply looks at it and says, "Oh, whatever attacked us, attacked this, and this is just a very typical ship run aground in bad weather."
See,
Mm.
good news.
Perhaps she kept logs or something. Maybe we could see if there's anything left behind.
So you do a thorough search of what you can from the wreck, but honestly, everything's been pulled off over to the Losseth camp. No, there's no real records to be found.
Does seem they cleaned it off rather well.
Or she did it.
Or she did.
And we're going to end it because we are at time. But give me one more moment because you're going to head up. You're going to head up and clear some more area here.
I'm going to find a really tall spot and perch there briefly. Good God. That was unexpected.
It's big.
So you crest this little hill and you can see the remains of a fortress, and you instantly recognize it as a very old Numenorian fortress. And we're going to close with that vision.
Long have I desired to look upon the kings of old, my kin.
Indeed. So, because there was both some fun skill rolls, but I think even better, really good role playing of the characters, you're all going to get 3 character points.
I accept.
And thank you for watching and listening, dear viewer. We thank you. If you have questions, corrections, suggestions, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Please consider liking and subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. And thank you, most of all, for watching. Olympus out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Namarie.